It's spooky season, and since there's nothing scarier than Rory's boyfriends, today we're going to build the house from Gilmore Girls. And thank you very much to the EA Creator Network for making this video possible. I will say, I'm on my 6th annual rewatch of the show, which is scary, I know I have a problem, but for those of you who haven't seen the show or have seen it a normal amount of times, I'm going to have all my references up so you'll understand even the very niche things, from hubas to monkey lamps. And it's a long play, so get a drink, a snack, a blanket, get comfy, and let's get into it. Okay, so following the outline I've made with the terrain paint, I know I left the deck to be 2 tiles wide on each side, except for this little corner here. And then for the upper portion, it looks like we need about 8 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 across, actually 4, 8. Okay, and then for this one, I think I have it coming past about 3. And that's like the very basic shape, but I do need to touch up the bottom of it here. But also for those of you who have not watched Gilmore Girls or are unfamiliar with like their house and everything, don't worry, I will include reference photos so you can follow along and not be completely lost. Because I realize, as iconic as this house is, to me it might not be as noticeable to everyone else because I have watched the show, in all honesty, probably 5 times over, and I'm about to do my 6th rewatch. I just got them on DVD actually, so I'm really excited to do my rewatch this year because I think there's some like extra footage on the DVDs, like clips that didn't make it onto the streaming service version. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the impression that I got from the DVD, so that's very exciting. I'm currently missing, I think, season 5 and season 4. So I don't have a complete collection yet, but I'm definitely getting close. I really lucked out because I've just been visiting my thrift stores and I kind of found them in bundles. Like I think I found 4 of them together. Then the other one I found as a standalone. But either way, I'm very excited to start watching it on the DVDs because I feel like, well, I mean, that's how it was watched when it first came out. So I think that's going to be super fun. But I'm just trying to figure out the decking situation here. I think I may have built that room a little bit too soon. I also think that I don't want it to be 2 tiles wide there. I think it's just supposed to be like 1 here. And then we can angle it down like that. Yeah, I think that's better. This feels a little bit wide to me. I think it's only supposed to be 5 tiles, and I have it as how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have it as like 7. So I'll bring that in. I think that means, oh, okay. So I've actually messed this up just a little bit. This is meant to be 9 tiles, and then this is meant to be 5 tiles. Okay, yeah, that looks more accurate. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think this is meant to go all the way over here, and this will go over here. Also, I am using some floor plans that I found. I will make sure to put up like the pictures and whatnot, but I also have a whole Pinterest board of all of my inspiration in case I forget to add something. Okay, I think that's the shape that I want. I may have to tweak it a little bit more. I think this is roughly good. Okay, and I'm going to pitch like that. The house is like kind of freakishly tall on the top, so I feel like I should make it a medium wall height, but I don't know how much I'm going to love that. It's also looking like this kind of roof piece sticks out this way, but there's no like extra room there. So I don't know, I guess we could just put it like that for now. It doesn't feel quite right, but also for this video, there may be slight spoilers. I'm really going to try not to spoil anything, even though it's 25-year anniversary this year actually, so if you haven't seen it already, I mean, it's been out for a while, so there may be a couple spoilers here and there, but I'll try not to like dump anything major. But I think with how much lore I plan to add into this, there's kind of naturally going to be a couple of spoilers here and there, and I don't think I'll be able to mark them all, so I guess watch at your own discretion if you're like new to the show and don't want to risk spoiling anything. Though I will say, even with spoilers, like it's a very entertaining show, so I wouldn't sweat too much, but I need some kind of a lattice foundation, so I'm thinking this base game one. I just don't know if I want the version that's lighter here or darker. I guess the darker one. Something about this swatch looks kind of strange to me, like it doesn't look quite right, but at the same time this one feels like a bit too extreme. So I guess I'll pick this one for now, and then we can see for the deck part I'll just need some kind of white floor paint. I was thinking this one. Also, I should mention this is not going to be pack restricted by any means because I want to be able to get it as close to the actual house as possible. And so I'm going to use whatever packs will allow me to do that. For this part here, I actually need to add a second roof bit and like a deck area. I haven't gotten to my Gilmore Girls rewatch just yet because I'm currently watching Parenthood, which I mean, I mentioned in a video like a little bit back, and I kind of took a pause from it just because I got busy, and then now I'm back into it. And it's just so weird seeing the actress who plays Lorelai Gilmore, like Lauren Graham, seeing her in this show as well, because honestly it just seems like her life continued. Like, poor girl cannot escape the trope of like having a messy love life and being a single parent. Like, she cannot escape it. But I mean, she plays the role well, so I'm not surprised, but it just feels like a little bit of an extension. So if you've watched Gilmore Girls many a time, I highly recommend going to Parenthood next, just because it's nice to see her acting again. But for the columns, they have a little bit of detail here and there, but they're nothing too crazy. So I'm thinking either these Strangerville ones in white, or I think more accurate would probably be these ones from Cottage Living. So I'm actually going to pick these ones because I really like these and I think they'll work perfect for the house. I'm just going to try to figure out spacing. This looks about accurate there. And then we can add them over here and I'll put them on the corners. There is a lot of deck for this house, so we'll need lots of columns. No way for me to center that one, so maybe I will put it like this instead. I guess I should also probably pull out these adjusters so there's a bit of an overhang. I also do like them on that side. It looks like this kind of extends all the way through, so we can do it like that, and then I think I'll even apply it to this side as well and just kind of have it wrap around the build, which makes me realize I do need to add the porch back here. It's just going to be 2 tiles about this wide, and then I guess we'll just duplicate this yet again, and then we can put it on this overhang as well. I guess it only needs to be like 2 tiles there. Okay, cute. I'll apply the same foundation as well and the same wood. Okay, for basic structure, that's essentially it. Oh, actually, there is this kind of bump out right here. I think like 1 tile, so we'll add that in, and then you can still get around there, so that works. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Then I'm also going to include the shed garage area as well. So I'm going to put that over here. I may need to adjust the size because I do plan on putting a boat in here. I won't explain the lore of the boat, just as, I guess, spoiler prevention, but for those of you who know, you know. And so I feel like the shed and having the music like band set up in here will be essential. I'm going to try and include references from all the different seasons because the house kind of changes a lot over the course, but I'm going to try to do my best to do justice to all the seasons, and some things might be slightly different from the show, which I will point out when we get to it, but I'm trying to get the essence correct is my main concern. I just need like white steps for up here, so I guess I'll use those ones, and I need some on this side too. I think I might have misspaced things a little bit, so I'm going to move the house over just a touch, and then we can put the stairs over here. Okay, so that's like the shell. Then we need some kind of vertical slat fencing here. I'm thinking the base game ones are going to be the best. We have this one, but they're a little spaced out, but I need to make sure that it has this kind of bottom bar instead of being one of these ones where it fully reaches the base of it. This one could definitely work well. This one, okay, I think this one's probably our best one. I know they probably look all very much the same, but I think this one works. Oh, though I do want a square top there, so maybe I should switch it. But honestly, I don't mind switching it just for the front one. Like, I don't really think it's that noticeable, but like this feels noticeable to me. I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm not sure if that's gonna come back to bug me, but for now we'll keep it as this and just put this fence everywhere. And then I'll take this one and just change it on certain spots where you can see the post of it. But then we have to find the matching railing for that. Honestly, I think this one's pretty good. It's not the same one, but that doesn't really matter because then I can switch this back because the railing post takes precedent over the normal post. So I think we're okay there. And if that's the case, we'll do it on these back steps as well. The reason this house is going to be kind of a mashup of, I guess, all the seasons and more so just the essence of the show is because with the way the show works, it's actually like it's not a real house. It was a house built for the show basically, but the back of Lorelai's house is the front of Suki's house. So basically the floor plan doesn't make the most sense in the show and things change here and there, but regardless, I'm going to try my best, like I said, to do justice to all the seasons and, you know, embrace little changes if I have to make them. But I'm just going to put on some roof paint now. It's kind of more cool toned than what I've just put down. I think a little bit like this horse ranch one would work well, though I think the scalloped roof feels more like cutesy and accurate. So honestly, I'll go with this one just in a more gray swatch. Try to apply it everywhere. And then for the roof trim, it low-key just looks like the base one that comes when you place down a roof. But that always looks a little bit unfinished to me unless I switch the color. So I am gonna add just this standard trim around. We also have a little bit of a weird piece back here, which I may try to fix at some point, but for now I'm just gonna leave it. And I think next we need the iconic blue siding. There is a couple of different options we can do, but I've already planned it out and I know which one the best one is going to be. But like there's this one, or there's this light blue one, or there's this one from Horse Ranch. These ones aren't bad honestly, but the one that's going to be the best is just this base game simple siding. It's got like the perfect slat width and the coloring of the blue is most accurate, and it has those white pillars, which again, very accurate. So I'm just gonna put that around the whole thing. I believe the shed is about the same. I don't have a picture of the shed up right now, but I guess I'll just leave it blank for now so I can remind myself to change it if I need. I also make sure that like this is a room and everything. For some of these corners, that white strip, like the built-in pillar, isn't gonna show up because when you have a room that's only one tile away from the other room, it doesn't show up. Like it has to be 2 tiles wide, if that makes sense. Like you can see there now it would show up, but if I do that, the deck won't be functional. So we will leave it like this. I'm gonna try to come in and find the windows now. We have these base game ones, which are definitely not bad, but the framing isn't quite right to me. So the other one I was thinking is maybe this Love Struck one, which has more of a thick trim on the outside, which is perfect. The only issue is that the panes, or not the panes, but like the dividers on the panes are beige instead of white. So I'll have to decide if I want to overlook that or not. And it's got this top part, which isn't the most accurate, but I do really like the scale of them for the house. So I might do that, but I'm gonna keep looking. I also need some for down here that are just 4 panes. And for that, I was thinking this businesses and hobbies window, but it's the same kind of thing where I can have the white trim, but then the dividers are not white, or I can have the white dividers and a beige exterior. So it's not the most perfect window. All right, while I continue looking for windows, I'm gonna need you all to let me know down below if you're Team Dean, Team Jess, or Team Logan. If I had to pick, I'd probably pick no one. Given how many times I've watched it, I feel like I just go back and now I can really just pick apart all the issues in all the relationships, which maybe is not the best thing. I miss the rose tinted glasses, but I would maybe pick Logan if I had to pick anyone, which I mean, I guess makes sense because it's her more mature relationship, but I don't know. All of them are a little concerning, but I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts as well. I'm sorry to all of the Jess lovers out there, but I do not think that that was her one true love. I feel like there was way too many issues there. It could have been like right person, wrong time kind of thing, but even then I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure he ever would have changed and all of that. So low-key, I'm not Team Jess, but that's no shade to anyone who is, because I can see the appeal in certain instances. Okay, for windows up top, I could try these ones actually. They're not bad either. But I don't know, something about this one from Love Struck is just really speaking to me. I can't seem to find any good ones for the bottom though. I want the ones with the 4 panes, but my options are limited. Like we have this one, but the windows on the bottom floor are actually quite large. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with this businesses and hobbies one. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think it could do for now. I'll try it, I guess, with the beige paneling. And then that way it at least matches the windows up top more so. I also don't know if the bottom floor needs to be a medium wall height. I don't think so. It looks like the top of the house is bigger than the bottom, so I'll leave it like this, where this is short and this is medium. And then for the door, I'm gonna put 2 single doors together because I know we have that exact door. And so I'm going to show you how I plan to do this, because they also always have like one door open a lot of the time, which I mean, they live in a small town, so I guess it's okay, but I would be fearing for my life if I did that. This is the door we're going to use though. It has that perfect arched glass top, and then the rest is just like wood, so it's very accurate to the one that we see in the house. But in order to make it a double door, I'm just going to copy it and then rotate it like that, which you could leave it like that if you want a closed door situation. But since I want to make it an open door, I'm going to go ahead and find an archway that matches the width of these 2 doors. So I'm going to take this base game one here, the trebeated entry frame, and we're going to use that, and I'm going to alt place it. Okay, we're going to use this archway here, and we're going to place it by the 2 doors, and then to make it look like the door is open, we're going to draw a diagonal wall here, and then we're going to take this door and put it on the diagonal wall, and then holding Alt and dragging, I'm going to merge it so it's touching the archway there, and then deleting the wall. I'm just holding Control while I draw over the wall, and that deletes it, and then now it looks like you have a propped open door. If you wanted, I guess you could also do it this way if you wanted to see a little bit more of the door, which honestly might be even cuter. And then if you deleted the wall, then you can see it looks like the door is propped open. Of course, you'll have to like adjust lighting and whatnot. I honestly really like the look of that. I don't know if it's functional when it's like that, but that's okay because this door on the right would be functional. So that's all good. Let me actually put a light down to kind of fix the glitching right now. Okay, I think that looks so cute with the door propped open like that. You could also have it so the door is propped open the other way, but the doors swing inwards on this house, so I'm gonna leave it like that. And then for this one, it's also the same kind of 4-paned window, but these are far too big for the 1-tile walls, so I'm gonna have to try to find something else. I might even end up just going with a 2-pane window. I know that the windows are meant to slide up. This is going to be for Rory's room, and I know there's a scene where like the window opens, so if that was the case, I could go with the high school years one, this one here, because it's actually functional. Your Sims can climb in and out of it. However, I'm going to put a desk here, so you're not going to be able to access these windows, but I think I'm going to keep them anyways because I feel like they match what I'm thinking of, like plot wise, I guess. These ones also look like they could slide up, so they maybe could work, but maybe too detailed for what I was gonna do. Oh, what about these windows? These are 1 tile. Again, too many panes for what I was going for, but they have a thicker outline, which I would say is accurate. I don't know. I think I'll have to fuss with that off camera. But the other thing I'm forgetting to add over here is a chimney, which is what I blocked this space out for. I'm also realizing I think I have the spacing off again. I think this is meant to come over one based on how I did it in my rough plan. And then these shift down. And there's like this gap on the side here. Yeah, I think that's better. And then this will be like the chimney area. Okay, that's all good. I'm also forgetting to put the wallpaper there. I think this is looking so good already. I'm really happy with this. One thing we do need to add still is spandrels. She has this really pretty lattice spandrel happening, but I don't really have anything like that with my selection, like nothing too exact, so we'll have to make do. We could do something really pretty like this from Vampires, but she doesn't have those like swirls on her house. There's also those ones. That's a little too simple. I think this one from Lovestruck might be my best bet because it's at least got like the lining up there and is pretty simple. I mean, this one has more of that cross look, but way too whimsical, I think. That's from the Fairies pack, so I don't think that'll be our selection. Oh, maybe even just this base game one could work. All right, so I'm thinking Lovestruck or just the base game one. I think the base game one has more width, which is good, so we'll go with that one. There's also a like brick chimney that looks like it's behind the roof, like right here, or like it could be over here, but since I have the chimney in the place where the fireplace is actually gonna be, that hopefully that made sense. I'll just use this one as the chimney and add in a roof sculpture. I'm just gonna take this base game red brick and we can use that. And I'll draw a little half wall to polish it off. And again, apply the same wall paint. And then if we go into roof sculptures, we can find a one tile chimney. And I want to use this one from Cottage Living. I use it all the time as my single tile chimney. It's just so perfect. And then we'll go with that. And I'll also switch up the roof trim. I think just to this white one will work. And that's our little roof there. Or our little chimney. The wisteria on Lorelai's house is arguably one of the most iconic parts of it, so the ones I'm going to use are going to be from Cottage Living. If you don't have Cottage Living, you could try the Fairies one, but I think the Cottage Living one feels the most realistic, which is kind of what I want for this build, and I think the scale fits a lot better. So I'm just raising it up with the 9 key, and I'm going to kind of dot it around the spandrels. I'll even have some bits where it comes all the way down like that. And we can do one over here as well. In the photos, it looks like it's only on the left side, but I'm going to take a little bit of creative liberty with this just so it doesn't feel so out of place. There also is, based on the actual house, this part right here, like about this size of room, is a sunroom basically, but it's not a part of Lorelai's house. They use it for Suki's house, so I'm going to omit that from this and just have it be so that the porch wraps around like this. I'm also going to fix the chimney, don't worry. So that's the wisteria. Then we also need more windows on this side. I know Rory has a window above her bed, but I'm just not sure if it's a big one like this or if it's maybe something smaller like that. For now, I'm going to put in this one and then we can see. But I also need the kitchen window, which is one of those like more slidey ones, I believe. So we could either use the one from Snowy Escape or this base game one. I think the base game one's going to work better just based on the like width of it, but I really like the look of the Snowy Escape one. Also, the shed right here is making it very difficult for me to show you, but we'll use this window for the kitchen. And then of course we need a back door because how else would Dean change the water cooler? It looks roughly the same as the front door with this glass here. The only thing is that it has like this really pretty lacy curtain. Also, this would be the placement of it because the stove would be about here. But yeah, it has this like really lacy curtain, which I don't really have, unfortunately. If I had the bistro kit, I think it would be perfect. And part of me is tempted to get it just for this. But yeah, the bistro kit has like this really pretty lace curtain. But to simulate that for now, I'm just going to use this half curtain from Growing Together, just as a reminder there. Then we also need windows along this bottom side. The top windows are going to be a little bit tricky because half of this house is not even shown in the show, just completely blanked there. But like this whole room, I'm gonna take creative liberties with that. Essentially all we see is this and sometimes the bathroom, so I don't know about the window placement on there, so I'll have to figure that out. But aside from that, that's like the main area all kind of completed. For the garage here, I'm seeing a couple of different things. Sometimes it's all white, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's a light blue, but I'm just gonna match it to this house, like the main house, because I think that's gonna work the best. And I definitely want to have open garage doors for this because this is like the band's practice area and stuff, and you kind of just see them open all the time. I'm maybe gonna try these barn doors from Horace Ranch, which could be okay, but the doors on this kind of swing out actually, so I'm almost wondering if I draw them out like this and then put a different paneling on the inside. Maybe I could use this blue paneling, or I'll just go with the white on the inside. I'll put the blue on the outside still, but then we would need things like columns, like something like this to actually add that framework. And then we could put in an archway or just remove the wall like this. I'm also seeing like small windows here, but because it's on a diagonal, all of the small ones are gonna fill up the space more than I want them to. Oh, except for this base game one actually. But it would be something like this. And then there's even like beams going across. Maybe we could use this wallpaper to kind of simulate that. It's honestly not bad. I mean, the windows and the pillars don't blend in the way I need them to, but that's like easily fixable. I'll just switch everything to more of a gray, even though I want it to be white, but I actually think that might be better than using one of these standard open doors. There is even the option of like drawing it in, and then we could put columns like here basically, and maybe something on the upper portion as well, just to polish it off. I think I need to make it look like this 2 tile here is the door instead of that 1 tile. So I'm gonna do something like this. If I wanted to mimic the beams on the outside here, because it's like a white kind of framing, I could maybe do something with these like wall pieces from Eco Lifestyle, or maybe these bars from Snowy Escape. But mainly what I was thinking of was the curtain mount. Yeah, I was thinking of this curtain mount from Desert Luxe, because it's essentially just like a vertical beam. And then we could kind of just put it across like that, or a horizontal beam, sorry. The other option actually would be to take just this base game white shelf and use that instead. I don't know which sticks out less, and also it looks like the spacing on the curtain mount might be better. So let me actually go back in with that. Okay, I was scrolling through debug to try to find some sort of vertical sculpture that I can alt place instead of a normal column, and I found this one from debug. It's just base game debug, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I may even try it on this wall as well, but I might look for something that's a bit more flush with the wall instead of these curtain mounts, because it doesn't look so great from the side. Okay, I found these roof beams from Cottage Living that could work, because they do tuck into the wall, but they do have more of a cutesy detail to them, but honestly, that could be okay. Alright, this is what I have so far. I definitely think it needs some more tweaks still, but those are things I can do off camera, I would say, and then I can come back to you with a finished product, but this is close to what I'm trying to get to. But I've shown you essentially everything that I need for the outside, so I'm going to landscape, then add a couple final exterior details. Alright, so I finished the landscaping on the outside of the house, and I added a couple of extra details. I tried to mimic the drain pipe situation they had. I also added a couple of extra like grimy bits, because would it really be one of my builds if I didn't? And for the garage, I'm so happy with how this turned out. I used the tool mod and used those same kind of like roof pieces from Cottage Living and just rotated them accordingly to give me this framework that's all matching and consistent. And don't worry, if you don't have the tool mod, you can still download this. You don't need that to have this look, basically, which is something so nice about the tool mod. But the outside is not done yet, because we have to add all the little details that add to the story. There may be a couple spoilers here and there, but for starters, we're going to need Lorelei's Jeep. Now, I'm going to put in this green one. I think it might actually be a beige Jeep if I'm remembering correctly, but we don't have one. But the green is definitely going to work, so we're going to go with that. And I think I'll just put it over in this spot by the garage. I think that makes sense. We're also going to need their mailbox, which honestly looks like this generic one that comes with just base game. Like this is the standard one you find on the lot. And usually they would have a bit more of a front yard, but since the lot I'm working on is so small, I don't really have that. So I'm just going to put it here. I know it's facing the wrong direction, but I want you to be able to see this red thing. You know, I don't know what this is called, but basically when it marks if there's mail or not. Another little detail I added are these tulip bushes, because once Rory goes off to college and whatnot, Lorelai plants tulips courtesy of Babette, so that's what those are. Though I should probably set them to like worst quality because we all know she's not a gardener. I also put this lattice situation back here. I kept seeing photos where there was lattice on the back porch, even though I don't quite remember that. But I just took these pieces from the Romantic Garden pack and I just put them face to face like this to hide some of the ivy. I'm not sold on if I'm going to keep it or not, but this was the only thing I could really find that was lattice. So that's what we have. And again, the windows I've kind of just guessed for now, and we may end up switching it later on, but I think it'll do. For up here on the porch, I want to get the sofa that they have. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find anything quite exact. It's got a floral print for the cushion, and then the framework of it is kind of like a rattan or like woven situation almost, which is why I'm not convinced we'll be able to find a direct match. Okay, I think we're gonna have to go for essence more than anything, and I feel like this base game one could kind of be the right vibe. Obviously it's like an indoor piece of furniture, but I'm not really seeing anything else that'll work quite as well, I guess. It's like a white sofa with blue and pink flowers, so I guess we could use something like this, though it's more like the cushions are white and the flowers are colored. Ooh, I actually feel like maybe the pink could work. Maybe I should make it one smaller as well. There's this one from Paranormal that might work as well. It's definitely more of a funky shape, but I like the subtle pattern on it, so maybe... Okay, none of these are really seeming quite right for the outside, but I'm kind of in between these ones right now. I think this one definitely feels more outdoors, so I'm gonna go with that, and we'll just have to make do. And I think that is the best color option because the framing is white on the original sofa, and the rest of these feel too modern. I mean, even this one feels a little modern, but we have to do what we have to do. Then there's also this shelf on this side with like a couple of plants and a watering can. So I'm thinking we can take this shelf from, is it backyard stuff? I can never remember the name of the kit. It's not a kit, the pack. This is the shelf I was talking about. It is backyard stuff. It doesn't have the same kind of swirly detail, but I think it'll work for what we're trying to do here. And then we can raise up some of these watering cans to get it even more accurate. All right, I think that's perfect for what I was trying to do, so I'm very happy with that. I think I'll scooch the sofa over a little bit. I also don't know if there's a rug here. I don't think there is, but it might be a nice addition. I'm gonna put this little rose flower rug as a nod to the couch, I guess. And then for this seating area over here, I don't think this table is always there in the show. Like I feel like it gets swapped in and out per scene, I guess. But there is a scene where they're like studying or reading out here, so I'm gonna add that if I can find something. The problem is that it's like a blue table, like a blue woven table, which I can tell you we do not have. I guess I'll just try my best to make it look like outdoor furniture. Like maybe I'll just use the white table. Oh, actually this one, I mean, it's not the right texture, but it's more in the color scheme of what I was going for, so we can go with that. And we'll use these blue chairs to match. I'm gonna put it on more of an angle, and then I want some notebooks out here for their studying purposes. I'm pretty sure it's more in this corner, but just for the look, I guess, I'm actually gonna put it in the center here and put a rug under it. Because while I am trying to make this accurate, I do also want it to feel cute in The Sims, which sometimes doing real life builds and then building them in The Sims doesn't always translate. So I'm gonna have to take a couple of creative liberties here and there. I think this woven rug from Cats and Dogs will be very nice under here. I'm also realizing I need to add some porch lights. I think something like this is pretty accurate, so I'll add 2 of those maybe. And I'm also going to put one on this side here. And I feel like a little lantern over here would be really cute. We'll use this one from Seasons with the little bow. All right, I think that's super adorable for the front porch. The other thing we need to add, of course, is the chuppah, because would it really be the Gilmore Girls front porch or front yard if there wasn't a chuppah? This comes in like the later seasons, and maybe I won't explain the significance of it in case you haven't watched it, but it's essential to have. I feel like this one might be our best option. We need something wooden and something that looks like it's hand carved, handmade. And this one is not quite that, so I feel like this will be our best one. There's also this one. This one is from Horse Ranch. I guess it's kind of between these two. In terms of scale, I definitely think this one is more accurate, and it's base game, so I feel like why not? Even though this isn't a base game only house, but then at least you can have one of the key things from the show. I'm honestly thinking the default swatch is even the best color. I wonder if there's some, like, I feel like there's some kind of goat sculpture. Or maybe it's not a goat actually, maybe it's a llama. I know in the show it's meant to be goats that are carved into it, but if we don't have goats, maybe we can settle for a llama and pretend that it's the goats carved in. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. This is what I was thinking of though from the Castle's Estate kit, but maybe I should just use that sculpture. I feel like you can kind of clearly tell that's not a goat, but I feel like some animal is better than no animal. So winged llama. Shrub. Okay, well I want to find a placement for it first. I'm pretty sure it's usually like in front of the house, like a little bit more out in this area, but I think I'll just tuck it away by the garage here because that seems to be where I have the most space for things, and I will bring my animals with me. I can't decide which of these I like more for this. What if I add them both? I feel like this one blends in better, so I'm gonna go with that. And I'm just going to duplicate it using the tool mod so I don't have to copy the height again. Oh, I lied. I do have to copy the height again. Okay, that's okay. It's like this. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now we have the little goats, even though they're llamas, but pretend it's a goat. The other thing I want to add is a kiddie pool, because Luke teaches Lorelai how to fish in a little kiddie pool in the later seasons. So I feel like that could be a fun little nod while also adding, I guess, a bit of extra gameplay. It's like a circular one and it is blue. It doesn't have these patterns, though I guess the pattern of a fish in the bottom is not the worst thing given that, you know, that's how she's learning to fish. I'm also not sure where to put this. We don't have the most space. I feel like I'm just tucking everything into that corner there. Maybe I'll put it in the backyard area just as like a little nod. Okay, I also want to put in some lawn chairs because I keep seeing that in one of the photos I'm looking at as well. I thought we had the item in The Sims 4, but I'm realizing now the item I'm thinking of is from Animal Crossing. That's been happening a lot recently where I just keep mixing the two up in terms of what items are from where. And then I come into one of the games and I'm disappointed that I can't find it because I was thinking of the other game. Like, it's supposed to be a kind of woven lawn chair, but this is about all I have. It is supposed to be white though. Oh, what if we try this new one from Adventure Awaits, but the one with the back? If I can find it. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of, and then we can just use it in the white. Again, I don't know if it's the most accurate, but we will put it anyways. We'll just put two of them like this. And once again, they are supposed to be closer to like the front or farther away from the house at least. But again, I can't quite do that with the spacing, but I think it'll work either way. Okay, for the inside of the garage, I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to tackle on the screen, so I guess you'll see depending on how long this clip is. But essentially I just need it to be a big like band area. Now the main problem is that we don't have drums. So I'm gonna have to figure out something with that. I know like we have guitars and keyboards. We can do a microphone. Oh, maybe even this like busking station from City Living. Maybe a violin, a guitar, another guitar. I guess the keyboard can be our makeshift drum setup. And I wonder even about putting like a DJ booth in here just for more of a band feel. I won't add the violin because that doesn't actually happen. And then we can just kind of like lay these things out. I could put the microphone over here, have a couple of the guitars. Pretty sure there's 2 guitars. One of them's a vocalist, and then there's also the bassist and the drummer. I'm not going to say who's who again because I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, but that does remind me that I feel like Lane got the worst end of the deal with this show. I feel like she was on track to have such a good storyline, and then it just went all downhill because one of the characters left the show, and I will never not be bitter about that. I hate how her storyline goes by the end of it, and I feel very passionately about that. But I'm gonna add in a couple of these guitars. This one's from Lovestruck, I believe. Oh no, sorry, Businesses and Hobbies. And then this is just a base game one. And then, like I said, this is the busking station from City Living. We'll lay it out like that. The other thing we need for in here is a whole bunch of rugs. I'm not actually sure if it's supposed to be wood flooring or like cement underneath because you can't actually really see that with the amount of rugs. So I'm just gonna put down a whole bunch and kind of layer them. And I'm gonna pick the worn swatches because it's supposed to be like an old garage. Ooh, this cluster from Laundry Day will actually work really well. Though I am gonna size it down one. I also want like way more beams on the inside, but I could probably do that just with normal columns. Oh, I should also mention that I did copy this style on the inside to make it look like they could swing open. I'm just so happy with how that detailing came out. I feel like I really cooked there. But I'm gonna put a couple of these columns. I'm almost wondering if I want it to be like more of a beige in here instead of white because it doesn't really look warm enough. I have to be careful though because this, whenever I put the wallpaper on, it wants to delete all my hard work out here. So basically I can turn on deletion protection since I have better build by, and we will do it that way. I think I need something that looks more like a garage. So I kind of want to take these ones, but they're all a little bit too dark. I'm gonna go with this one and then turn deletion protection off so my game doesn't bug. But this is just one from Horse Ranch. That's more of like a yellow, I guess. I'm not sure why the lighting's being so weird in here, but this is what I have right now. I think this looks better this way, though I am gonna throw in some concrete instead of the wood floor. I really love the concrete from Businesses and Hobbies. It's just so beautifully textured, but I don't want to use a pack just for like some flooring that you can barely see. So I'm gonna go with this base game one, the tried and true tarmac. And then to make it extra cute in here, we're gonna put up some string lights. I'm just gonna use these ones from Businesses and Hobbies. I think I'm also gonna bring in a couple of the holiday pack ones. I can do like a mixture, something like that. Also, in honor of Rory's Hug-A-World, I think I'm gonna put this little globe item from base game. It's not exactly a plushie of the world, but I think it'll do. At some point this becomes Lorelei's like craft cabin area, so I think maybe I'll put in a woodworking table with like this paint detail. A very important iconic item that I've forgotten to include is going to be Luke's boat, and that needs to go in this garage, but I don't really know if I'll have the space. I also don't know what boat to use. Oh, you know what? This one from Growing Together can actually work really well. Okay, I need this to be in here, but I also want everything else to be functional, so I am just gonna switch around a couple things and remove the DJ booth, but it's very important that I have the boat in here. I'm just gonna put this little globe on the woodworking table. Okay, so I think that's about everything I wanted for in the garage. There may be a couple changes when you see the tour, but that means we can go ahead and start on the inside now, which you can see I've already done the wallpaper and flooring because I was trying to get it as accurate as I could, and it was a lot of back and forth. And once again, this room, you'll see what we do with it later on. But in the show, this switches between being a bathroom and a closet. In the later seasons, it's just a closet, but in the first season, it's a bathroom. So for sake of gameplay, I'll have it be a bathroom. But we're going to start on this entranceway first. And I'm looking at a couple of different reference photos. All throughout this build, I'm going to try my best to show you what I'm looking at as I'm building it and have it up in the corner. But the one I'm looking at right now has this kind of mirror vanity situation that is practically identical to the one that we have from the Forerun expansion pack. This one here is essentially perfect for what we need. I'm just gonna have to clutter it up a bunch more. I'd say the wood tone is maybe like this. Oh, and in case you're curious, the wallpaper I'm using here is base game, and then the flooring is Island Living. So we have this here, then we also have a picture on this side of like a girl, but it's like a painting. I don't think I'm gonna find anything exactly like that, so anything in that kind of size will work. I think I'm gonna use this jazz cat photo. It feels very Lorelai to me, so we're gonna put that in. Then I also want this umbrella stand, which will go right here. This is just from Seasons. And then I want to find a coat rack. We have these new ones from the Grange Mudroom kit, which I could use somewhere, maybe over there, but what I was really thinking of is the base game one. Oh, we can take these bags from the Everyday Clutter kit though and make it look like they're hanging on the mirror situation here, because that's basically what it looks like. Like everything's just kind of draped over the vanity here. Adorable. The coat rack is this one that I was thinking of, and honestly, well, I guess I should pull it out a little bit because the hat's clipping in. Okay, I won't be able to get everything perfect, but this is definitely closer than just having it as it was. And I will keep this shelf just for the extra clutter because the whole aesthetic of the house is very cluttered and has a lot of character. Then in some of the photos, I'm seeing a plant in this corner. So we can just take this vase of flowers, but then we'll find a little side table for it. We can just use this little white one from Horse Ranch and put the flowers on there. They're white, and maybe I'll rotate it. And there's also a lot of cute woven rugs in here. Sometimes they're circular and sometimes they're oval like this. I was hoping this would be the perfect excuse to use the new rug that we got from Adventure Awaits, the one that I'm obsessed with, but I don't know if it's too cutesy. But I don't know, the bear feels really adorable for in here. I think I won't add it though, just so we can pick something that fills up the space a bit more. And we could try this one. I want some kind of toolbox. Oh, like this, because Luke leaves this over at Lorelai's a lot because he's always repairing things and it stirs up a bit of drama. So I think I have to include this somewhere. Usually it's on top of there, but I'll just put it on the bottom for now so it doesn't take up as much space. And it's this red toolbox. I'm gonna throw in this little debug purse from Cottage Living. I also think just a couple of other little clutter items like some pens would be cute. I'm just gonna have like tools scattered everywhere. I'm gonna put in this crowbar and then maybe I'll put like a package or two up here. And actually I think a candle, like I think this one from the bathroom kit would be really cute in here. This side we don't ever really see much of, so I can't think of anything to put here. I guess I could do just some sort of shelving unit. I think the archway is supposed to be more over to that side. So let me just put a picture on this wall and we can call it good. I'll just put this butterfly one. And for a touch of extra clutter, we can put in these shoe racks. I think I'll just use the base game versions, or I'll use one base game and then I'll have some of the ones from Dream Home Decorator just scattered around. I need these boots to be in brown for Lorelai's iconic boots, but they don't come in brown, no. Okay, we'll pick this one just so it matches the best. I also feel like Rory wears Converse a good chunk, so we can put in some of those as well. Just use these ones. This is also from the Grange Mudroom kit. And now I really think we're done for the entranceway, so now let's do the living room. I would say the living room is the room in the house that changes the most throughout the seasons. Like, I feel like it's always different. And the biggest thing I would say is the couch. So there's this iconic like red and white stripy one, but then there's also the beige one. And so in terms of options, I'm going to pull out some of the ones I'm thinking. We definitely need ones that look plush and lived in and cozy. So this base game one here in beige would be very accurate if I could put a throw blanket over it. I can add pillows, but not the throw. This one is from Paranormal, which is super cute and has all like the blankets and the pillows, but I'm not sure the color scheme is quite right for any of these. Honestly, the white one looks really cute in here, but it's definitely a beige couch, so I don't think I'll use this one, so I'm going to take that off the list. This is the one I'm thinking of using. I like it because it has the draping like clothes and stuff. I think they're meant to be like towels, which is not quite what this house has, but it's close enough. And if I really wanted, there is a stripy swatch, just not in the most accurate color scheme. But it definitely has that beige, which I need. So this could definitely work. And it looks far more lived in than this one. And then lastly, we have this couch from Cats and Dogs, which also very cute and pretty perfect with all those pillows and the shape and everything. It just doesn't have the blanket. So I would say it comes down to these. I think this one's most accurate because this one has like the 2 sections where this one has the 3 sections, which the living room has. So we'll go with that one. And then there's a big armchair in this corner, which is floral. I'm thinking the ones from cats and dogs could work really well. Or actually, this one from cottage living is genuinely perfect. It's the right color, it's the right pattern, it's the right size. Oh my gosh, that's so satisfying. But I'll show you the one I was thinking of, which would have been this one, which has a little blanket on it and very fitting. But I mean, the cottage living one is too perfect not to use. So goodbye, cats and dogs. And it's kind of like put in this little nook area by the stairs. And there's even this pink ottoman. Maybe we could use this one from Lovestruck. That's actually quite perfect. Even though it is like a square ottoman, but this is like the exact color and definitely looks like it fits the house. So we can do that. And we need a little side table for over here. I think I'm actually going to use a dining table because I want this circular one in the orangier wood. Even though it's a little bit high. I also think the living room is slightly bigger than in the actual show, but I had to do it this way for spacing. But coming back over to this side, we need a little table for back here. It honestly looks a little bit like the horse ranch table. Oh, the table I'm thinking of is actually a coffee table, which is definitely not right. Though this might actually work for their coffee table in the living room. Yeah, because it has like the green and the brown top. Maybe it's a little more rugged than theirs, but I think I'll keep it. Oh, this one's even better. Okay, I'm definitely going to keep that. Okay, back here I just need like a little console table. So maybe this base game one, though it's kind of not as wide as that. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna use this one in its base game swatch, or its default swatch, sorry, because there's a lot of like orangey wood tones in here, and I think that's perfect. This corner has a little rocking chair. At least I think it's a rocking chair, so I could try. This one's probably the most accurate. The other rocking chairs, oh wait, maybe the horse ranch one's okay. I was gonna say the other rocking chairs are from Growing Together, which are a bit too plush for this, but it almost looks like that dining room chair that we have from Cats and Dogs. This one here, but this isn't a rocking chair, so I kind of have to pick and choose. I'm actually gonna switch this to more of the red brown because I think that's more accurate. And then we will use the rocking chair here, but we can keep this chair because there is something right over here, and use it right beside the console table. Then behind that we need a standing lamp with like a cone-shaped lamp cover, lampshade, that's what I'm looking for. Something like this feels pretty accurate, but I will keep searching just in case. Yeah, I think this Cats and Dogs one is the best. It looks like it has a bit of a pattern to it, but none of these patterns look quite right. I guess this one's not bad actually. We can go with that. And then beside it there's a plant which looks a bit, again, I think I'm thinking of an Animal Crossing one, like the Chiflera plant from Animal Crossing, but in this case, I think we could get away with this one from Cottage Living. Yeah, that's going to be the best one because it is a taller plant. I'm just going to adjust some of this. And then even though we have a lamp right here, there's also a sconce right in this corner, so I think I'll add that as well. Again, I'm trying to make it as accurate as possible here, but only taking creative liberties where I think it's necessary. Okay, I can't find the exact sconce. It's actually quite specific, so we're just going to go with this base game one, but it's going to get too bright in here very quickly, so I am just going to turn it off and have it more for the look. It almost looks like this one's turned off though, and this sconce is on. Maybe I'll make this... Well, you can't really see the glow of the sconce unless it's like max. I can put it there and I'll make it super warm, I guess. Though it kind of blends into the wall if I do that. Okay, we're just gonna leave it off. There's also a picture in between these two windows. I don't think we're gonna have anything quite as small because there's a little bit more space than what I have here. But I guess I could shift them over a little bit at least. And I think the cottage living picture will fit the best. I'm gonna switch it to this one. This seems like more of an accurate picture to Lorelai's character, at least, not necessarily to what I'm seeing. And I guess in terms of other big items, we're gonna need curtains. I definitely don't have what they have. Like theirs is a lot of lace curtains like everywhere, and unfortunately I don't really have that. The closest thing would probably be these high school years ones with like the macrame, but even that, I don't know, it doesn't seem quite right, but they're at least sheer. But I think I might layer and use these sheer ones from Parenthood in combination with some other ones. I feel like these on the sides and then some little ones along the top like this would work well enough. I feel like this could be a nice combo, this half curtain from Cats and Dogs with the sheer Parenthood ones. It's going to be finicky to place though, so I will have to use the tool mod, but that's no problem. Okay, I think that's going to look very cute as our curtain combo for in here. So I'm just going to duplicate that to this window as well. I guess while we're in this corner, we might as well decorate everything over here now that we have the basics. So I know I need a pillow for this little cushion here. I don't have the exact one because the one I'm looking at has a clown on it, but it is a red pillow, so we can use this one from one of the rewards events. And just so you guys know, the rewards event right now comes with a new pillow, so if you haven't done that yet, I highly recommend. Preaching to myself here because I still haven't done that rewards event either, but I'm gonna get to it because I want that free pillow. But of course we have to include the iconic monkey lamp here that Lorelai traded her like really expensive coat hanger for or something. And I think the lamp that would be most perfect is this one from Vampires right here. It's got that purple lampshade with like the little tassels. It's kind of pushed off into this corner, but it has no monkeys, but I'm gonna fix that. When you type in monkey, this is what comes up, and we have a couple of these statues from Snowy Escape, which are super cute. You can size them down, but that's about as small as they get, so I will be using the tool mod here. But the base of this lamp is actually perfect, so let me make them very small. I think 0.07 should be okay. And then we'll just use them up using, and then we'll just raise them up. And then I'm just going to raise them up using the 9 key. I really hope those of you who are watching, there's at least a select few of you who are as familiar with the show as I am, because I hope you realize the amount of detail that I'm adding to this, like creating my custom monkey lamp. I mean, that's how you know you've watched the show like 5 times, when you know you have to include the custom monkey lamp. Okay, that's so perfect. I'm gonna use the tool mod to lower it ever so slightly though. I'm pretty sure it's 3 monkeys, but I'm not sure if I can stack another, so we're just gonna have to leave it like this. I'm so happy with how that came out. Okay, next, there's like this little hutch here, which kind of looks like the bread box from Parenthood, so maybe I'll just put that in, honestly. Like this item here. I mean, it's a little taller in the photo, but honestly, that's pretty dang accurate. I'm just gonna scooch it back a little bit. And then beside that, we have a vase of roses. I think these ones from Lovestruck will be the best option if I just size them up a bit. And we can just push them into the corner here. I see 2 other objects on the table, but I can't necessarily tell what that is, so I might just leave it like this. I know the phone doesn't go over here, but it does kind of look like a standing phone. Like it sort of looks like this one, but I know I'm gonna have to put a phone over here, which is kind of crucial, so I don't know if I want to spend it all on this spot. Instead, we'll go with some kind of tabletop clock. Just use this base game one size down and rotate it a little bit, and I'll switch it to a darker color, and I think that's perfect for this little setup here. The other thing I'm seeing is back here, it's a circular rug that looks like it has some flower imagery. Oh, I think this one from Life and Death could be perfect. I need it in a lower contrast swatch though. This one matches the house really well. Yeah, I think I'll try this one. It doesn't stand out too much. It's very warm. I mean, in the photo, it's definitely a little bit different, but I think this will work just as well. Then I see like a basket of blankets and stuff over here, which we have a couple options. And by a couple, I mean 2, based on the packs I have. So we can use the one from Cottage Living, this one here, the basket of cozies. We also have this freestanding one, which I just realized, which is from Base Game, which could also work. I wish this was like a 1-tile object. Well, it is a 1-tile object, but I wish it was just like one piece here, and then you could kind of like, well, maybe don't size it up that big, but then you could almost make it look like there is a blanket draped on the couch if it was just that 1 tile. But I'm still waiting on the day that they give us the ability to drape blankets on couches, or even just like on the edge of a sofa here. But I don't have anything like that. I mean, since it's Gilmore Girls, I feel like I have to pick the fall swatch for the blanket basket. So that's what we're gonna go with. I also see a magazine rack for here, which is also from Parenthood. This one here, so I'll put that beside the couch. It does look like it's a wooden swatch, but I kind of want to add this one because it kind of reminds me of some of like the DVD covers. So maybe I'll put that in just so it's not so much of the same in terms of wood. I don't see anything in this corner, but it does look a little empty compared to the others. So I'm gonna take my creative liberty and put in a plant. I'll just use a small base game one. And I think that's good for that corner. So now let's work on this main section of the living room. The amount of tabs I have open to get this accurate is actually a little bit crazy. I think I should just put all the photos into Photoshop and laid them out that way. Would have been a lot simpler. But for starters, we need a fireplace in this corner here. There's also some kind of diagonal cabinet situation here, but I don't know if we can do that with a wall or with some sort of sculpture item. The fireplace to me looks a little bit like this one from Cats and Dogs, just without the mirror, but it has this white framing with the brick here. I feel like this one might be too small, but I wonder if this is too big. You can size it down and have it still be functional, but with this one, since there's a mirror, that's not gonna work. I honestly think this one is the best, so I'm gonna work with it and we'll just adjust a couple things. I think I'm gonna have to decide if I want to like omit something here or try to squeeze the TV in on this side. I guess the other option could be I do have the fireplace actually set here, so I could do it like this. And then maybe I even raise this up on a platform one and I could make this like a brick situation here. And that'll get me pretty close to what it looks like. I feel like this cabinet from Horse Ranch could be pretty accurate to what they have their TV in, but I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'll keep it out for now. I also know we need a blanket above the stairs, so I kind of want to use this shelf item from Life and Death. I don't know if that's going to prevent your Sims from being able to walk though, but the quilt is so perfect. I really like it in that swatch. This corner cabinet almost looks like this one from Cats and Dogs. Maybe if I scale it down, it could be okay. Then I feel like we have a lot of hutch going on here. Okay, so I was trying to mess around with this corner cabinet and see if I could figure something out for like a custom thing. So I like sized down a couple of random windows to try and fit the shape of these wall pieces here and like use these knobs as drawers. However, I'm not really getting anywhere, so I'm not sure the custom's gonna work, but I wasn't really finding anything in like these kind of cabinets either. At least nothing that had the exact sort of shape that I wanted, so I'm gonna leave it for now and we'll deal with it later. I at least know that I want to have that there. I just don't know what it's gonna be that makes up that object, basically. I also do think I want the fireplace to be in the front here. Like I don't really want it tucked away to that back part, because then I feel like this place isn't as cozy. Okay, so I'm still trying to mess around with layout and whatnot. I'm feeling like this cabinet from Horse Ranch might be better suited for this kind of diagonal cabinet that we have over here. If I don't use that Cats and Dogs one, which I've actually deleted and now don't know where I put. Yeah, this one here. Either way, we'll have one cabinet in here. I kind of like the idea of it looking like it's a built-in because it's pretty seamless, this corner here in the photos I'm seeing. I don't know if I'll be able to match that exactly, but something like that. And then maybe for the TV, instead of this kind of closed hutch situation, we can use this item from Cats and Dogs in one of these swatches. I think it's maybe closer to this color, but I really like the texture of this one. And then we could take a TV. Of course, it has to be an old looking one because this is the 2000s, people. And let's take it and size it, or not size it up, but raise it up and move this so it doesn't click onto it. And then it'll be something like that. It's not the most accurate to what I was hoping for, but I think with the space that we have now, this is gonna have to do. Maybe I can size down the cabinet like that, and that can be pretty accurate, I'd say. And maybe just for like flow of the room, I guess, I'll put the side table on the other side, even though I know it's not as accurate as the one photo I'm looking at. But in some of the photos, this corner is even like a bookshelf. So now I really don't know. All I know is that this coffee table is gorgeously accurate, so I'm definitely keeping that, and the couch. These two together, kind of perfect. But beside the couch, we need a side table while I let that other area marinate and think on if I actually like it or not. But the side table that I'm seeing in the picture is very funky, and I don't know if we have anything quite like that. It's rectangular, but then the legs of it have this sort of curve and swoop to them. Like, honestly, what about this table from Eco Lifestyle? I don't think it's quite what I want. It's a pretty narrow table though. Like, I'd say it's about this size. Ooh, I'm gonna use this one from Snowy Escape. It's not the right shape, but it's definitely a good size for this because I will have a desk here as well. So I will go with this. It's in a very dark brown though. Like this almost. I don't know if that looks like black though, even though this is the black version. Maybe I should just go with this instead because I do still want the house to feel cohesive and nice. The rug underneath the sofa looks like something from Nifty Knitting, but I don't have that pack. Like, I almost feel like it could be something like this sort of, but it's more of a woven situation. It's definitely on the striped side, so I can maybe try to find something with that. But I don't know if I'll be able to find anything with the right colors. It looks like it has a bit of tassels, so I can use this Dream Home Decorator one as the base and then layer rugs over top of it so you can see like the tassels peeking through. I mean, this Dream Home Decorator one has like a striped look to it, but not necessarily the right color scheme. Well, honestly, this one's not a bad color combo, or this one could be okay as well. It is more multicolored, so one of those. This might be nice to tie in the blue from the pillows. Oh, what about this one from Growing Together? I feel like vibe-wise it matches pretty accurately, but maybe not looks-wise. Okay, I'm not really finding anything better, so we're gonna roll with this one for now, and we'll see if I change it later on. Yeah, I feel like if I had the spacing correct on this would be all the way like up here almost, which I guess I could get a little bit closer to, but I think this area will be a little bit more spacious than I intended. I do think that's a bit better. Even if I don't put it on a platform, I think I can at least put some brick paint under here for the fireplace. I'm also seeing this kind of standing hutch in this corner, but like way smaller, like almost something like this from Horse Ranch. It's got another lamp. There's a lot of lights in this house. I think honestly just like this base game one would work. Maybe in the green, but I'll dim it a bit. This cabinet might be too tall. Okay, I'll try it. There looks like a bit of miscellaneous clutter. I just can't really see what it is, so we'll take a guess here. Maybe I could put a little bit of cash, a mug, because they're always drinking coffee. I'll have to put a lot of mugs throughout this build, and maybe this Kleenex box. There's also another curtain on the door, which again is like that lacy curtain that I don't have from the bistro kit. So I think instead, maybe I'll just use something like this from Cats and Dogs in this stripy color. I'm gonna come back and do all the decorations, but for this corner, while we're still figuring out spacing, I know I need a desk. Or just some kind of like console table if I don't find a desk that suits. It has some funky leg pattern yet again, which I'm not sure we have. But it's a little bit like this in terms of, I guess, shape and whatnot. Or I guess the drawers are on this bottom bit here. Size-wise, I feel like this one from Paranormal would be best, but it doesn't come in the colors we need. Well, maybe I could try this one from Get Together. Though again, it's kind of too big. I think in the end we might have to do a console table and just pretend it's a desk. Like maybe this one from Discovery University. It's definitely got the right color swatch. Ooh, or even this base game one. It has a lot more of those drawers. I guess the legs have equal funkiness here. I think I'm gonna go with this one just because the color matches the best. And we can kind of shift it over a little, and then we'll put a chair there so it looks like a desk even though it's not. It looks sort of like this one. Maybe this one's best from Cats and Dogs. It's supposed to match the color of the table, but I don't have that here, so either this red or this brown. Kind of like the red the best. And I'm gonna angle it and kind of tuck it under, so that way your Sims have a clearer path. I'm also seeing another small rug right here, almost just like this base game one. The placement of it seems kind of odd to me, but I'm gonna put it in anyways for now at least. I'll just do that color. Okay, before we decorate that table, we will finish decorating the living room before I got so sidetracked. So let's start with this side table. It needs a lamp, of course, because I think there's about 10 in this room. This one has a floral lampshade. I don't know if we have that, but I do think we have a lamp in base game that's a similar shape. Yeah, this one's perfect. Just gonna have to raise it up using the 9 key though. And it looks more like a red lamp. Or this orange one actually. I think it's even better. And then beside that, there's just a stack of books, which looks exactly like the base game ones we have. These ones here. So I'm just gonna rotate those. I might even add yet another mug of coffee just for something extra on this table that, you know, still adds to the story. Oh, but you know what else I'm seeing actually is a little picture, which actually, now that I think about it, is yet another thing that you can get from this rewards event right now. And like, I'm promoting this because it's free. Like, I'm not being asked to do this, but if you guys play it, you will get free build items, which, I mean, why would you not? So there's like a freestanding picture frame here from the rewards event. This isn't that one because, yet again, I have not done it yet. I haven't taken my own advice, but we'll put that there for now. It's supposed to be a picture of Rory and Lorelai, but we'll go with that. Then I'm also seeing a little flower beside it. And I think the ones here could be perfect. These are from Lovestruck, and I'm pretty sure they come in a white swatch too, so this will just be exactly what I need. And then I'll even move the books and I think delete the mug. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. Wait, I actually wonder if these ones would be even better. Oh, they don't come in white though. But I do think that seems like something they would have. But I'll go with these ones instead. And we're just going to pretend this is a picture of Rory and Lorelai. It looks just like them. Okay, that's good for that section though. And then for on here, we can really just put kind of any sort of clutter. But I definitely think like books and magazines will be of the essence. Should I use this picture frame instead? Maybe we can use this one on the fireplace because the fireplace is going to need a lot of clutter. We could put another stack of books here. Maybe this little open notebook one for channels. Then of course a CD stack. I feel like these books are maybe too big for here, so I'm actually just going to put those away. I'll put this little book. And then I definitely want the remote from Debug for all their TV watching needs. I'd also really like to put a takeout box, like either pizza or Chinese food, because that's like all they eat in the show, aside from coffee. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that or if it's going to go smelly. Something I'm thinking of is the trash from Werewolves, because I know there's... Yes, there's this one. There is Chinese takeout. Okay. We're gonna put this on the table. I'm really hoping it doesn't go smelly. I think since it's Debug, you should be okay. Oh, and I'll also put the pizza box because, I mean, they're staples. The 5 major food groups. I'm gonna put a second takeout container and just size it down. And then maybe it looks like they have a variety of things. Okay, that's so perfect. I'm so happy I found that. Oh, there's also them from Eco Lifestyle if you don't have werewolves. So you can pick and choose here. I think this looks so perfect for their area already. For this table area here, surprise, surprise, we're gonna need another lamp. This one has like a pretty smooth lampshade. Like there's not really any detailing on it. Like almost like this one, but I use that by the door. Maybe I'll use this one, even though it has detailing, but I think it's gonna work the best. And then I'm gonna look for more flowers as well. These ones are also white, the ones I'm looking at. Maybe I could use these roses. Again, there's more clutter items, but I can't quite make out what they are. That's kind of the downside of it being an older show, is the screen grabs aren't that clear. It's like older and whatnot. But I am going to put another little plant. I need this one from Fairies. I mean, it's showing white flowers, but I don't really like the white swatch on these roses. So maybe I'll do the white base and then the pink flowers. Okay, I'm just gonna try and lay out the clutter that I've just picked out and hope it all fits on the table by the time I'm done alt placing. Actually, that was pretty accurate. I'm gonna put the mug on this side though, and I feel like I want a candle here. Though they don't really have that in the show, I don't think, because I mean that's probably very risky when you're filming to have open flames and whatnot, but I just feel like it's the type of house to have a lot of candles. Again, maybe I'll use this one from the bathroom kit and just put it over here. I'll switch it to a different color though. The mug can go there. And I'm honestly going to switch the flower color as well because I feel like there needs to be some diversity here. And then to kind of reference the bookshelf that is kind of on this side sometimes, but not all the time, I'm gonna put one in this back corner. Or maybe even this base game wall shelf. Ooh, actually I really like this one from Parenthood. Oh, it does clip in with the stairs though. I guess I could size it down. but I'm kind of scared about it not being functional that way. Or not the bookshelf not being functional, because you can't even reach that. I more meant the staircase. This one from base game fits. It's just not as cute. Oh, I'm gonna try this one from Cats and Dogs, just size down. Maybe I could even put it on an angle and lower it with the tool mod. Maybe like that. I think that's really cute, actually. I don't know if I'm sold on this hutch situation that I have going for the TV, so I'm gonna keep looking for other things. I mean, it's definitely a good size, but it doesn't have like enough detailing on the top. I could maybe raise up a photo or something, but I'll look for just a different hutch overall first. Okay, for the TV area, the hutch doesn't necessarily need to be on a diagonal because they could just put the TV on the diagonal instead. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and then I'm gonna take this new shelf from Adventure Awaits and I'm just gonna merge it in because it's the exact width and color of this cabinet, so it looks like it's meant to be like that. And I feel like all this clutter is so accurate to what they would have, so I'm definitely keeping that. And I do still think this TV is the best option because there just doesn't have any of the antenna. We did get more of this retro gaming cube from Adventure Awaits, so maybe I'll add that as well, just as like an extra activity. Though they don't really play any video games, like that's not a thing in the show, to be honest. But just in case you wanted to do gameplay in this house, it would give you some other activities. Actually, maybe instead of using the retro one, I will use this one from City Living, and then I'm gonna rotate it so you see the back, because I feel like it looks more like TV ports and maybe less like a gaming console. Last, for this living room area, we're gonna need to tackle the fireplace, so I'm just gonna put a bunch of clutter objects. There's a lot of pictures on this mantle, so maybe I'll just do a whole bunch of those. We don't have many options in just base games, so I'm gonna make do and maybe use duplicate. But I do need a big picture to cover up this mirror because that's not accurate. I almost wonder if I can use this one. Deleted my TV, but I can add that back in. This one's from Life and Death, and it like has that portrait of your Sims in it. Which actually, I guess, I don't really know if I want that. Kind of weird. I will find something else for that and find a new TV. Okay, I'm gonna try this horse ranch one. I don't know if I think the pictures are the most accurate, but it at least has that white frame and fills out the space. And if I want to change it later, I can. And again, like any of these little changes that I make, you will see at the end when I do the tour, because I will do a full in-depth tour at the end, which in case you guys didn't know, I do for all my long plays. So if you're ever like, oh, she didn't show this or she didn't show that, you can always check the tour at the end if you want to see what I did. Oh my gosh, I feel like they have to have a coffee picture somewhere. I'm just gonna put that in the kitchen for now before I forget. I'm actually gonna delete the wall again, and I think I'm just gonna raise up some of these pictures that are meant to be wall pictures and treat them as though they're stand pictures. And then I can even rotate them afterwards and actually make them look like they're leaning. I can use a couple of these ones, which are more like family photos. Oh my gosh, the back of this photo frame is so cute. Why did I never notice that it was like red velvet, basically? So snazzy. But yeah, I'm just gonna rotate a couple of these. If you were able to see the back of these ones, I would maybe merge these together so it looked like it had a stand, but I really don't think it's all that important for this one, because you're not going to be able to see the back of it anyways. I just want one other picture for that middle, and then I will be happy. I'm going to try this one here. I'm actually going to switch it so that this one is on the left, and that one can go there. And then to rotate them, let's hope this works. We're going to change the axis and maybe do by 4, but we want them to go in the other direction. So we're going to go, and 4 wasn't enough, so I'm going to go -6. Perfect. And then now it looks like they're actually leaning on this area. I might even see if I can rotate this one a little bit so it's kind of angled inward. Yay, it's working. I'll do the same for this one then. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. Maybe this can be Lorelai's mom here, Miss Emily Gilmore. Okay, I love that. The other thing I'm seeing on here is like one plant and one kind of candlestick. So for the plant, it looks like something dried. So I'm gonna take this one from Dream Home Decorator and just size it down and then put it there. And for the candlestick, I'm gonna use this one from Get Together because I think that's pretty perfect. Okay, and now I'm just gonna delete these placeholders here and draw the wall and hope it doesn't delete anything. and I'm gonna go ahead and say that that is good for our living room. I think it came out so good. We're gonna switch gears and move to the console table here now, which I'm pretending is a desk. And we need a lamp, and I already know the one that's gonna be perfect, which is this base game one here, the mega table lamp. It's like the exact shape and everything. It does have a bit of a darker base though, so we'll switch to this one. Then of course we need a phone because this is the area where they get all their voicemails and stuff, which is like a big part of the show. I'm gonna do this cream colored one, and I did find a close-up photo of this and it was on a stack of paper. So I'm thinking we could take these files from Strangerville and just raise the phone up on that. I'm gonna size it up though so it actually looks like it could support the phone. Okay, cute. So that's how the phone area is gonna work. Then we also need a little plant and some books. Oh, and a pencil holder. And probably a coffee mug. And maybe some notes. Ooh, packages as well. I'm gonna put this little clutter item down here from the Everyday Clutter Kit. Maybe glasses too. Okay, I want this pencil holder here. I'm gonna do my best to make everything fit, even though this is a very small table. Like this, and then I did want a plant. I won't use this one. I just wanted to get a plant. Maybe I'll use this for a red one. Then I'll move this and the note as well. And then maybe we can put the packages over here. Glasses, mug. Okay, that really fills up the space. There's not much room for anything else, which I think is good. That's what I want. I switch that to brown, and same for the glasses. And the books can be that color. So cute. Okay, above it, there's a little mirror. Again, I think the for rent one could be perfect for this. This one here. Although I guess it doesn't really have detailing at the bottom. I thought it did. Oh, this base game one even. Oh, I think this base game one's actually even better. Okay, I'm gonna do that one there. I'm also gonna have to go ahead and put in all the light switches. And just to remind myself to do that, I see the one light switch in the corner here, so I'm gonna put that there. Looks like there's one other little picture up here, but I can't quite tell what that is. Maybe I can just put another of the basement treasures one, and I don't know, maybe this swatch, even though it's kind of similar to the one I used on the fireplace, but ignore that. And then for this wall, there is kind of like this gallery situation happening. There's like 3 photos. I just don't know if I'm gonna have the space for it. And from there I would need like one other very small one, like this one. I don't know, it might be a bit much, so I'm gonna think on it. I think it's kind of already clipping. Okay, we can think on it. But that's gonna be the whole living area done. That was quite the doozy. So now let's go ahead and tackle the kitchen. Okay, so there's 2 variations of this kitchen that you can find. There's the one from early seasons and then later seasons when it gets renovated. But of course, I'm going to base it on the early seasons because that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the gorgeous cabinets that they have, which are white with this mint trim around it, which is why I've put this gorgeous wallpaper from Realm of Magic. I am obsessed with this wallpaper. I don't know why they don't make other wallpapers and tiles like this with all these beautiful, gorgeous colors. But I'm using this because I thought I could try and channel some of the counter energy, even though realistically in the kitchen it's all yellow, but this is like close enough to yellow. It's like a very light green. But that being said, for cabinets, they are like a tiled top as well, which is not something we really have aside from this base game one, which honestly, you know, it could work. It has like a slightly bluish tint to it, which normally I don't love, but I think for this kitchen that actually might work in our favor to kind of bring in more of that mint color. But in terms of spacing, there's cabinets like this all along this side. I think we'll use an end piece on this corner here, and then we need a corner piece for in there. And then this side is like cabinet, stove, and kind of a storage thing. I actually think the brand new pack has something that works really perfect. Like it's a bar cart, and I completely missed it in my overview of that pack. This one here, I mean, in theirs it's got like the foldy bits on it so that it can come up and be a full table, but it has these slats and everything, and it's about this color and this height and everything, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that's perfect. And then above it will be a spice rack, but it's a hanging one. I almost feel like I want this, but like sized up, but I think it's kind of a bit too low poly for that. I feel like it looks a little silly. But this is essentially like the detailing of the shelf that I see. There's also above it, I'm getting too into details right now, but above it is plates. Like it's kind of like this. Well, there's like one plate above it, I should say. I know we have an item a bit more accurate to that. I don't know why it didn't come up when I searched plate. Yeah, this one here I would say is better. Okay, but anyways, before I get too lost and sidetracked, let's circle back to the major items of the kitchen, like a fridge and a stove. For the fridge, I'm kind of thinking this one from the everyday or kitchen clutter kit. Sorry, I confused that because it has all the stickers, but it's not quite the right style. Like it's almost this, but without the touch screen, sort of, but also more retro. If it was the renovated kitchen, we could use the retro fridge, but I'm not going for that one. They open it, it opens in the middle, so this could at least work, but it has like that water filter. Okay, I think for now I'm just gonna try this one just as like a placeholder while we come and look at the stove. The stove is very like retro looking. I'm kind of thinking this one, but this is way too skinny. Like it would almost need to be two side by side. I feel like they have quite the big oven, which is ironic because they never use it. Ooh, alternatively this one could work because it has all those little compartments. I don't know, I need like a hybrid between these. It is just plain white though. I think this one looks the most accurate, honestly. It even has the horizontal handles instead of these little things here. So I'm gonna go with this and then I'll just kind of merge it together with the cabinets, or the counters rather, and we can just shift things over. In this corner they have a water cooler. I don't think, wait, no, that's right. I'm lost on the name right now. I know what it is, but why am I like failing on the name? But basically all I'm trying to say is that we don't have that in The Sims 4, which is something I keep talking about. Like I really want to have like the water cooler as an object, and I always think it's something that we have from Get to Work, and it's kind of a marvel that they didn't put that in a Get to Work pack because that's so essential to like a workplace, I feel like. But I digress. I'll just hold out and hope a day comes when they have that. But for other major appliances, we need a sink and a microwave. The microwave is actually just like a plain black one, which I don't really think fits the vibe in here, so I'm kind of surprised that it is that, but we will use it anyways. And of course, oh my gosh, I almost forgot this, we need their coffee maker because hello, it's Gilmore Girls. I don't actually know what color it is, but maybe I'll do the mint one just to tie in the mint from their kitchen. And then over here is where the sink is and the dishwasher. I feel like this half dishwasher from For Rent is pretty accurate, so I might even try that, and then I'll put the sink beside it. So it kind of looks like the sink takes up 2 slots, but it's only 1. I think I'll try this one. Yeah, the spacing would almost be a little bit more like this. Honestly, that's not bad. I could keep that because I do think there's a big hutch over here, so it might have to be that way anyways. And then there's also cabinets, which are just white. We can take the same version of the counters, like the ones that match. And then we'll just use half tile ones over the window. I'm gonna move the window a bit over like this instead. I don't think there's a cabinet over the fridge, so we're not gonna do that, but there is a cabinet situation above the oven. And then we need a range hood as well. There's kind of looks something like this, honestly. Oh, or actually, surprisingly, the one from Home Chef Hustle seems pretty accurate, but I don't really want it to have the light. But I think if we want this one, we're gonna have to accept it, but that's okay. I think that's quite nice. I don't think I've ever used this range hood before, actually. And then in the center here, again, same thing, like the table and chairs always switches up, but for most of the season or most of the show, it's a round table. I just don't know if any of these round ones have the color swatch I want. Maybe this one actually from Horse Ranch, but it has a lot more of a fancy detail than I'd like. Oh, like I basically just want this from Parenthood. And the chairs are just some simple wooden ones. There's kind of a mix though. There's like some white ones and some like wood toned ones, I guess. Almost like this, but I want one like right there basically. I might even place it so that it's not even like an actual slot, just so it looks, I guess, accurate. I might even have to shift it down one like that. So I think maybe the chairs should be something more like this from Cottage Living. And then these ones can be white on the end. I'll maybe do it with the blue cushion or the pink. I think we'll do the blue. But actually, I'm looking at the chairs a bit closer now, and this chair looks exactly like the one on this side. It looks like these three are the same, and then there's just one randomly different one that looks exactly like this. So now I think I have to put this chair here. It does look like it has more red detailing on it though. I don't know if I can find that with the white frame. I mean, pink is just a lighter version of red, so I guess we can keep it. Or I just go with the all white. But I think I'll do the pink. I can't get over how accurate this chair is to the one on the table that I'm looking at. I'm actually thinking that instead of these Cottage Living ones, we could go with these ones from Parenthood, because I feel like they have a bit more of the right shape that I'm looking for, and they have the mint color that I want. So we could do it something like that. I'm gonna have this one slightly rotated just so that it looks a little bit more lived in. And then I did find some reference photos for back here, but we'll tackle that after. I want to do like this main portion first. And sadly, I discovered that their coffee maker is in fact just white. I kind of want to keep it mint anyways, but for the sake of accuracy, I'll keep it as just this plain white one. I think this one is the most accurate. Yeah, some of these other ones don't seem quite right, so I'm going to keep that one. And so that's kind of the base of everything down, which means we can start decorating. So I'm going to pull out a cabinet here and filter through and just find any of the decorations I'm seeing. We'll need a lot of jars, some things like this as well. I don't have the country kitchen kit, but if I did, I would definitely use the tins from that. But instead, I'll just use this as my like makeshift tin, I guess. I'm really just gonna pull out absolutely everything that I think could work in this kitchen because the amount of clutter we're gonna need is a bit ridiculous. Also, I did go ahead and do the rewards event, and guys, the pillow is even cuter than I expected. Like, I didn't know that it was gonna have such a nice shape to it. Like, it actually looks like there's weight compared to the other pillow, which looks kind of stiff. But look at this swatch. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? It's so cute. And like some of them have two sides, so like there's this white one, but if you didn't want the pattern, you can just rotate it. Or there's like this one, and then there's a different pattern on this side. I'm going to be using this all the time, but I'm at a loss for words really, but I need to have this pillow in real life. I'm just gonna like tuck that somewhere over there. Oh, and also, since we're just taking a little side tangent now, I did go ahead and get the photo frame as well, these standing ones, and it turns out that, well, first off, there's two sizes, magnificent, and different frame colors, but it turns out that it's actually one of those electric ones, and so if you put a bunch of photos in here, you can have it so that they rotate, which is quite cool. And it's a very like detailed back of this. Like, I honestly was not expecting that, but this is again going to be an object I use all the time. And then of course we have the magnet board, which in its own right, so cute. And it comes with a couple of like plain swatches too, if you didn't want the magnets. And then these are the magnets you can add. I feel like they look a little bit weird on that, but you can also add postcards as though it were just a normal cork board like this, which I just think is such a great detail. And yeah, so those are like the main things that I got from the rewards event. I mean, there's some other things as well, but those were the ones I was most excited about. And I gotta say, they lived up to the expectation. So if you guys want free cute items, go do it. I don't actually know when it ends is the problem. That's why I went and did it, because I was kind of panicking that I would miss the deadline and then would miss out on a free pillow. I was running out of space, so I'm going to start a new counter here. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my videos, don't panic. Like, I'm not leaving the clutter like this. I just pull it all out so then I can all place everything a little bit easier, but it won't be staying like this mess, so don't worry. This is the other pillow I was talking about, which is still good and it has a lot of swatches, but doesn't have that same kind of weight that the new pillow does. So, okay, I think that's probably good for clutter for now. We have a lot to sort through, but we're just going to take it one section at a time. So we're going to start with this tile here. So I already have this kind of plate detail that I wanted. I mean, in the photo it's just one plate. I could maybe like raise this one up if I wanted, but I don't know if it's gonna look kind of weird on the wall, because it's meant to be an object that sits on a counter, and because of that it has an angle. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I also think I am gonna try to use this sized up if it doesn't clash too much with the plate here. Thing is, I don't really need that second plate, so maybe I can just try to like hide it almost. If I pick the one with the black framework, I think it's all right and it kind of blends. I don't know, I'm gonna try it. But then also on here we have these kind of tins for like sugar and whatnot, which again, I would definitely use Country Kitchen if I had it. But since I don't, we're gonna use these ones, and I'm realizing I need to get the debug coffee bags. These ones here from Base Game. We're gonna need a couple of those. Okay, so it looks like there's about 2 tins right here, and they are just white, so I'm kind of debating leaving these as those tins basically instead of switching the swatches. And then it looks like there's some kind of lower sitting thing that is red, kind of like this almost, but maybe sized down. And then we have one tiny jar right here, which maybe I'll try this one. Or honestly, okay, let's pretend it's not an urn, but I feel like this urn from Vampires would actually be perfect for the object that I'm seeing. And then we can just put it here. But again, pretend it's like a sugar jar. It's not an urn. And there's a couple of other dishes beside that. I'm seeing like green dishes almost. I might just go with this stack of plates from Snowy Escape. There's like a green swatch. I think maybe it'd be nice if it was actually made to look like it's stacked on top of these books. Maybe something like that. Let's just check to make sure everything's fitting. I want this little kitchen timer as well, so I'm gonna put that on here. Perfect. Okay, that's gonna be the top of the bar cart area, but we need to work on these middle and bottom shelves as well, which I want to have a lot of like plates and pots and pans and stuff. I'm gonna try these ones from Horse Ranch for down here. Scaling might be a little bit intense there. Okay, I think that's better. I do think that looks a bit too polished, so I'm gonna have to shift some things around. So just gonna try to fill up the slots up top here. Put another like cooking pot down here, even though they never cook, so maybe kind of useless, but I'll do it anyways. And I'll also put some plates beside. I'm gonna try to put all the plates on this bottom shelf here, and then we'll put some miscellaneous stuff up here. I know it might be weird to have CDs right there, but it seems like the type of thing they would do. It still doesn't look quite cluttered enough for me, so we're gonna keep going. I think I'm also gonna need a couple of these like takeaway bags because they're always getting stuff from like Al's Pancake World or like Chinese food or even deliveries from Luke's and whatnot, so I'm gonna have a couple of those. Also gonna put some mugs. Maybe I could put a couple of these food jars as well. These are from the kitchen clutter kit too. I use this kit all the time. I think it's probably one of my favorite kits. Like that mixed with the everyday clutter kit and the bathroom clutter kit, just top notch. I'm just switching up the colors down here a little bit. I'm just gonna put a couple more of these kind of container things, but I will switch up the colorings for these. Okay, I feel like that's probably pretty good for the bar cart. I can't think of what else we could squeeze in there. I really cluttered that up. I'm hoping I'm gonna have enough decorations to get me through this whole kitchen, but I'm kind of concerned. I'll continue on with the coffee area though, so we can have like the bag of coffee right here. Definitely a mug. It's gonna be a little bit harder to alt place stuff here just because of how I have the counter situated. Try things like that. Oh, we also need the utensil holder over here in this corner by the stove. And it does kind of look like it's in a jug like that, so that's kind of perfect. I'm thinking I'll also put these jars from Cottage Living. Yet another kitchen staple. Maybe we could even throw in a mortar and pestle, even though they're not using that. I also definitely need cereal boxes, so I'm just gonna pull those out before I forget. Oh, even this item would be perfect. Okay, maybe I'll put the jars elsewhere because I feel like they need the tea mugs, unless that's better suited for their middle area here. But oh, and there's more grocery bags. Oh, and there's even this plate item. I feel like not all the items from the kitchen clutter kit always show up in the areas that I check, so then I kind of forget about some of them. So that's why I've just filtered right now so that I don't miss anything. Maybe we can do another jar here. Just want to make sure that nothing's like merging with the coffee maker, but we seem to be okay. Okay, now this might be kind of weird, but I'm going to put dirt on the counter, but just hear me out here. We're gonna raise it up. This is just dirt from Debug, and then we're gonna size it way down, and then we're just gonna scooch it over so that it looks like coffee that's been spilt. like coffee beans, that is. And if we wanted to push that even further, we could rotate it. Hopefully that's going the right way. Okay, I think I have to play around with this spacing, but hopefully you get the sense of what I'm trying to achieve here. And I think that definitely suits their personalities. Okay, I think something like that is perfect. I love how this looks. I think that's a very cute and realistic detail for them, because they're always just kind of dumping it in. They're never really measuring, and I feel like they're always in a rush as well. So that's perfect. The next counter to do would be this one. But before we do that, we're actually going to do something on the stove, because they always have this kettle on the stove, like this silver kettle, which I don't necessarily have. Like we have these ones, or the other option, which I think I'll probably use, is this one from Cottage Living. Maybe we'll just do it in this white swatch, and then we're going to scooch it to the back to make it look like there is a kettle on the burner. And sometimes this is functional, but sometimes it isn't. So if you're finding your Sims can't use the stove or like can't cook, I'd recommend deleting it and seeing if that fixes it. But I'm really going more for the aesthetic here. There's no like plants or anything over in this corner. It's all just kind of like food stuff. So I'm just gonna put a couple of different things around. I'm seeing a lot of clutter that's maybe better suited for the other side. So for here, I'm just gonna put whatever speaks to me and just make it look real messy. I want to use the cereal with like the little flakes. Use this one, like with the crumbs and all that. Oh, I was maybe gonna use this tea/coffee item from Get Together, but I forgot to place it, and now I don't really have the space, so we'll get rid of that. I also have this cutting board and stuff, but again, some of these things I think could look better on the coffee table, or not the coffee table, but the main table. Put these tins over here. Okay, we're definitely working our way through the clutter, but so far I think this is so cute. I think I'll add a couple of different like splooshes behind the stove, even though they never use it, but I feel like it would be messy either way, maybe from the one time they tried to cook and it went wrong. So I'm gonna do that, and then we can make our way over to this side for now. I'll definitely need a lot of clutter for the top of the fridge, but I'm gonna leave that till I've finished all of these counters first. I also need to pull out some soaps and stuff and the paper towel roll. I think I also want this sink item. A dish rack too. We have a couple of different ones, like we have the kitchen clutter one, we have the parenthood one, and then we have the for rent one. I think either this one or the parenthood one would be best. Actually, but this one with the chopsticks could also be good because they're always getting takeout. It looks in the picture like it's a little bit wooden like this, so actually let's try that one. This is the one from For Rent. I also like the idea of this shelf. I don't really see it, but it adds a nice bit of clutter that I feel like they would have, and I really like the tea towel on it. I guess while we're here we can finish up this sink area and just kind of polish it off. So I'm gonna put the dish rack there. The paper towel is gonna go on the other side. And I could have soap here, and then maybe this can rest like that. There's a little bit of clipping happening, but I think that's just kind of how it goes when you're trying to clutter a sink. Oh, I might even put this base game mug rack somewhere just because they need all of the mugs. And I'm also going to put this clutter over here too. I'm always wishing that you could raise up rugs and have them act normally, but you can't. But I really wish you could, because I always want to create like custom placemats and stuff. And I know we have like debug ones from Parenthood, like these, but they kind of sometimes disappear in live mode, and you also can't put them on counters like this. But I'm seeing like a mat here and I want to replicate it somehow. Maybe if I lowered the cutting board into the counter a little bit, then it could pass as like some kind of mat. Honestly, it's not bad. Just gonna make it a little bit bigger even. Honestly, that's pretty cute. I might have to start using that more and more. I don't know why I've never thought to do that before. I think I'm going to put it in this yellow color though. We also need a bunch of salt and pepper shakers, but the way they have theirs is like it's a bunch of kind of unique looking ones. So it could be like a set of chickens, or I don't know, 2 little deer or something. I'm not explaining this well, but you guys know those, like, you know how people collect salt and pepper shakers? They have a lot of that. So I think I need to find figurines that I can size down and we can pretend that they're salt shakers. Oh, I feel like if we size down some of these from Lovestruck, they could pass as the funky salt shakers, because because they kind of look like a matching set too, but I definitely think I'm gonna need tool mod to size them down. Actually, that scale's not bad. Honestly, maybe it could even be a little bit bigger if these are the scale of the normal shakers. But I might do it more like the dogs are a set and then the axolotls are a set. Though this seems like a very awkward shaped salt and pepper shaker. Oh, I feel like these little guys from the holiday pack could work. I think maybe I'll do the green and pink one. Even like the My Sims dolls could maybe pass. I feel like they just always have a bunch of like random trinkets everywhere. Oh, they would definitely have this little statue of a chef. That is so accurate to their personalities, I think. Okay, what I'm seeing is that all the salt and pepper shakers are on top of the microwave. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put the microwave there, and then we're gonna raise this to the height of the microwave, and then we will put everything on here. I think these need to be sized down even more, like that maybe. I'll save this one for the actual table. Yeah, I think the dogs are probably gonna have to be sized down as well. Okay, and then if we move the microwave back, placement is about there. It needs a little bit more work though. Maybe to make it a little bit more obvious in case anyone who downloads this off the gallery is kind of confused, I'll put 2 salt things behind them, and then hopefully that'll clear some of the confusion up. But even if they don't look like salt and pepper shakers, they at least look like cute little trinkets that they would have, so I'm not upset about it. And then we do need 1 empty counter, so I think I'll have it be this one. Again, if you're finding your Sims can't use the kitchen, then I would probably delete this paper towel, because even though it's on this one, it might kind of read as though it's on this one to the game. So I'm gonna put the grocery bag full of groceries that they'll probably never eat, and the takeout bag as well. And I want all of the jars back here as well. Okay, I tried to organize it slightly better. I think that's probably good though. I think that looks so adorable. We do need some kind of curtain for this window. Again, with the lacy curtains that I don't have. So we'll make do with some of these half curtains that I do have. I mean, there's this one from Parenthood, of course. There's also this one from Cottage Living, which is pretty cute. But it's kind of like transparent because it is lace. So I don't really want to completely block it. So maybe I will try these ones from Growing Together. I'm also seeing now that there is kind of like a window right here, so I'm gonna put that in. And then I think I'm also gonna scale up these curtains. Maybe something like that, but the color should change. Oh, the mint's cute. I might actually do this blue though. Maybe then it gives the illusion of being semi-transparent. I'll put this one as a mint color. I also kind of want to raise it up so it's kind of blocking part of the window, but not all of it. And then this one has also the same curtains, but once again, I don't have the right ones. Could I make the Island Living ones work, or is it not quite right? I mean, they're at least a little bit see-through, but I guess if I was gonna do it that way, I could maybe try the Desert Luxe ones. Like, what if I took those and sized them down? They aren't quite the right length. I guess maybe here I'll do a cats and dogs one. Maybe if I can't get the lace, I'll just go for something that seems like they would have. Maybe I'll try this plaid one. And then we also need to decorate this area here. A little trick that you can do sometimes if you want to get things around a certain point is take one of these base game standing lamps and put it in the center of your object, and then move the table away, and then you can just freely place, and then when you come back they'll be where you want them. I think I'm gonna repeat that same kind of mat trick that I did with the cutting board. It might be a little bit big, or I could probably even just leave the cutting board as it normally is. Okay, so I've pulled out a couple things that I think are going to work for here. I see a flower vase on the table all the time, and the flowers change, so I can kind of do whatever I want with it, I guess. It's so nice that they switch out the flowers, because I feel like it would be so easy to just get fake flowers and leave them and forget about them, and then it's like the same for 3 seasons. But I feel like they use like fresh flowers, or like made an active decision to switch it out a lot, which just makes it feel even more realistic. And that's what I love about the house, is that it just seems like something that would exist in real life, even though it's like a set. But I personally would love to live in their house. I think it's so cute, and it will definitely be used as inspo for my own one day. Okay, they also have a fruit bowl, so I'm gonna put one of those. And of course there's salt and pepper shakers. I'm gonna adjust this mat so that it's not cutting off all my objects, so don't worry about that just yet. They're also always reading, well, Lorelai is at least always reading like the newspaper and stuff, which I couldn't really find anything for except for this stack of papers. It's the same stack I used over on the table, but I think maybe that's okay. I'll keep the takeout bag here, and I think also I'll put a mug on this table to look like they're actively using it. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna make the little newspaper area right here. I want to be able to cover up that confidentiality stamp, so maybe I could put like this little notebook on it or something. Okay, I actually think that works pretty well. I'm gonna move the light now that we have it sort of figured out how we want it, but I am gonna adjust a couple things now. Maybe I'll put the milk over here. The cutting board has like an automatic slot. Well, it has a couple apparently, which is why this is snapping and making it difficult for me. So I'm just actually going to move it with the tool mod. And then I will lower this. And I'm going to switch the color on this one. I think this one can be pink. I think that's so adorable though. I love how this build is turning out so much. It's making me so happy. It's really fun to try and find items in The Sims to match the things in real life. It almost feels like some sort of puzzle or something, which is why I'm really liking this build. But I'm going to find a couple more things to clutter up the top of this fridge. I feel like they would have detergent up here, honestly. With maybe a couple of like cards. Maybe have mail up here as well. Okay, they don't have this in the show, but I do feel like there needs to be a bit of extra cozy lighting in here. So honestly, I'm going to put a lamp on top of the fridge. And I know that might be a little bit weird, but I feel like it's going to suit this house. I'm going to do it in this green swatch. I think that's good for like the majority of this kitchen. So now we just need to come around and focus on this side here. Okay, I'm going to try to find all the main pieces of this area here. So we have some kind of hutch over here, which I think the horse ranch one could work. Ooh, or the cats and dogs one. That's really cute. I feel like this suits them so well, but ooh, I actually wonder if that would be better in Rory's room. But I was also thinking the horse ranch one could work, which is why I'm in this category. Get this one here. It doesn't have quite as many panes as the other one does, but that's okay. There's also this little kind of rattan situation over here, which you don't really have any rattan furniture in this game, do we? We have this poof, which is not quite what I want. I need like a shelf situation. And it just has a bunch of miscellaneous stuff on it. Or maybe even this. Or maybe this could work for the little unit that's over here. I think here we're going to have to go for the vibe of the items rather than accuracy, because I don't think we're going to have quite what I need. I feel like this has kind of the right vibe, but I've already used that, so I need something else. Or what about this from Jungle Adventure? Maybe that could work, but it's in more of like an orangey color. I don't really see that, so maybe I'll just go with the mint. I just don't want it to match this one here. That, and then it almost looks like there's some kind of retro high chair here, which we don't have, but I can do a high chair that just looks kind of normal. Oh, maybe this one could pass enough. It's a red and white high chair that I'm seeing, but we could do the red and yellow. It's kind of giving McDonald's a little bit, but this no. Also, didn't we get a brand new bassinet kind of recently? For like mermaids. Yeah, this one here, they just randomly added it to Island Living like a few weeks ago. I mean, it's super cute, but I feel like it's such a random item to randomly add. Could I have said randomly more there? Goodness. I don't know if it's meant to be like a teaser or something. Like, I don't know if they're planning a refresh or something like that, but I guess it's nice. I mean, I doubt I'll use it very often because I don't really do whimsical builds all that often. By the way, that'll be our high chair. We've got this, and then we need the shelving unit. I don't really know what to use here because, like I said, it's meant to be sunken into the wall, which I definitely can't do. Not with the space that I have. Like, I want to use these from Dream Home Decorator, but the only 2-tile ones that are open have this, which I don't want, or this glass, which I also don't want. So maybe I'll just have to use normal shelves. I just wish I could make them look encased. Maybe this item from the Grange Mudroom kit might be our best option, actually. It's basically just some kind of open cabinet. I don't know if we have anything similar in base game that I could use. I think probably not. I feel like I'd need 2 of them together. And then I almost want to sink them into the wall because they stick out a lot. Okay, I'm kind of building my own custom unit here with a couple of shelves. I'm using these ones from Cats and Dogs and then just this base game one to make the outside of it, but I'm wondering if I should just make it all base game. But I think I'm going to have it be something like this, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Alright, so I've made the custom shelf unit here. I think it's going to work pretty well. I realize there is a bit of glitching here, which I'm hoping to cover up with decorations, and if not, I'll fiddle with the tool mod a bit more. But now the plan is to just fill up every single bit of this shelf. So this may take me a while. I will be here just trying to fill this up, and then I'll come back with the progress. All right, I return with fully cluttered shelves. This didn't actually take as long as I thought it would, so I'm pretty happy, but it kind of makes me want to do the same thing over here where that spice rack is, just for like extra detail, but I'll have to see because there's a lot of items in this build already. But that's going to be our little built-in unit there. I'm still unsure about this little shelf situation here. I think it needs a bit more work, but I know for certain it needs more clutter. So I'm just going to put some of that in. It needs more height and stuff. There's also a mannequin over here, which we have like these full standing ones, which is not what I was thinking of. I know there's like a sculpture item that we can use. It's like Lorelai's sewing mannequin. Yeah, I was thinking we could use this one here as though that's what she's using as like her sewing model. But then for over in these areas, I think I'm going to put a couple of like statues and stuff. I feel like these bunnies could have worked as more salt and pepper shakers, honestly. I also put a chicken in here, or a rooster. I think I'd like it better if it was on top of the hutch though. I don't know if it's gonna clip into the ceiling. No, we seem to be okay. Okay, so I've gone in and I've switched a couple of things around. Like I've taken this table from the living room and instead put this one from high school years over here, which I think fits the space so much better and suits what's originally there even better. So I'm just gonna use this as my kind of makeshift rattan thing that I was looking for but don't actually have. There's a lot of like blankets and linens in this corner though, because I think it might actually be Lorelai's like sewing area almost. And so I'm switching out a couple of the things. You can see I've switched out some of the baskets here too. Okay, so just adding a couple more decorations here. I'm not really sure what to put in this area. I'm gonna put like more books and things up top here, but for in the cabinet I don't really know what to add. Maybe I'll just put maybe like this item from the everyday clutter kit. Oh, and maybe I'll put in like this cleaning caddy from the kitchen clutter kit. And then up top here we could just put another linen basket. I'll switch the color out though, just so it's not all the same. And I feel like I want a little plant on this table here, even though I'm not really seeing that, but I feel like it just needs something else in this area. I might actually try the new one from the new pack. Cute. And I need one other thing for down here. I think some books could fit there. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Okay, that looks good for that area there. We just need to finish off this one here. There's this little table that I've added, which might not be the right color scheme. Actually, that one's not bad. That one's pretty good. It's not the most accurate to what I'm seeing, but I think it'll be good enough. Then I'm also seeing some old vintage sewing machine there, which again, Animal Crossing item, not an item in The Sims, but hopefully I could find something similar. I wonder if I could like piece two side tables together. I don't even think we have any kind of sewing machine item in this game. I'm gonna put in cross stitch though. That's about as close as we're gonna get with the packs I have. So I wonder if we looked on the gallery if we could find anything. Oh my gosh, someone did make one. Oh, that's incredible. Oh my gosh, even that one? These are so cool. I want to like place them down, but A, I have no space, and it also seems like they're using a lot of packs that I don't have, or at least a couple. But wait, I actually think it still works. That looks so good. All of these are so cool, but I'm not really able to get them where I need them to be, so I don't know if I can use them. Okay, I actually think I'm going to use this whole setup. I mean, excluding a couple things, but I think this is as close as I'm going to be able to get it to placement. This one that I've picked is by Goblin Dolly on the gallery, but this is just remarkable. I don't understand how people's brains can work like that. That's incredible. But I'm going to delete a couple of these items because it's taking up more space than I want it to, and I'm still trying to make it look like it fits in this house. This part is also really cute, but I think I'd prefer it on this section here. And I'm going to try to match the clutter to what I'm seeing in the photos, but I at least have the table where I want it, so that's perfect. I might have to size this down because I don't know if it's going to fit. And I'm going to delete this shelf. As cute as it is, it's adorable, but it's not what I see in the pictures, so it's going to have to go. Maybe I could try this filing cabinet from Life and Death instead. Same kind of thing where it's not exactly what I want, but I also don't think I need this table. That looks so cute. I wish I could shift it over ever so slightly, but once again, I cannot. It's so intricate. I feel like there's some kind of secret light in that room because there's kind of like this greeny blue tint over here that I can't seem to get rid of now, so I guess we'll just keep that. But it's like really strong when I place down these wooden items. Like you can see the shift in the color. Okay, I just put another overhead light and made it more yellow, so hopefully that can kind of counteract what I'm seeing here. I guess the other thing we can do is actually move the door over since we can't move the other things, which may actually work in our favor. So I'm going to do that. Now I wish the shelf was shifted over, but that is far too much work. So this is going to be what we go with, and we'll just have to tweak the lights as I go. Okay, I kind of like this addition of like the clothes bundle beside. Might switch up the colors though. And then we have the mannequin here. It's on top of a couple of crates and whatnot, so I think I'm going to take these ones from Dream Home Decorator and use that as what it's sitting on. Okay, I'm going to shift it over so it's not perfectly centered, and then we can fill up more clutter on this side. I think maybe we could put a couple of towels and pretend that that's fabric as well. I think maybe I'll just use base game ones this time because I've already used some from the sleek bathroom kit. Just these ones here. Maybe we can stack a couple as well. Again, I'm just using that shelf trick to get it more perfectly matched up so that I don't have to be too finicky with tool mod and everything. Okay, and then for this wall, I see a mirror. It's definitely a longer one with kind of a funky shape. I just don't think we have anything like it. It's a square, but then it has this kind of extra bit on top. I don't really know how to explain it very well. It's the mirror I used over there, yeah. Maybe I'll use this for a rent one. I think that kind of captures the vibe a bit. And then there's also a picture here, which I think I'm going to keep with this coffee one that I pulled out. And then above that is a sconce. I'm actually going to get rid of that light there. And then we can replace it with a sconce. It looks like candles, like almost like this, but like two of them. Or maybe this one from Growing Together could also work. Ooh, or this one from Get Together. Maybe I'll try this one because it has the two candlesticks, and I'm going to size it down one. So I'm going to dim it a little bit so that it has a bit more contrast from the wall. And I think that concludes the kitchen. That was quite the intensive room. So now let's move on into Rory's. We're going to follow the same steps for Rory's room, starting with the layout and then doing the decorations. This is the hutch that I pulled out because I thought it could work, but now that I look at the reference image, I don't think that's what I need. It looks again like more of these custom shelves, so that'll be fun for me. But before we do that, we can start with the big items. So her bed has this wooden frame to it, and I'm definitely only going to be able to fit a single bed, which is closer to what her bed is anyways. But it's kind of reminding me of maybe like this one, or even this fancy Life and Death one. If this was a single tile, it would be perfect, but none of those ones that I just pulled out are single tiles. So maybe we could try this one from Discover University. She has like this pink bedding that's kind of quilted. Oh, maybe this could work actually. Oh, this one's a single tile. I forgot about that, but I don't think it has the right swatch. Like none of them have like a wooden frame except for this one, but that bedding is not correct. Okay, I think this Discover University one is going to be our best bet. And I guess probably in this swatch as well. There is this brown one, but even that doesn't seem quite right. So we're going to go with this. And then beside it, there's another rattan piece of furniture, which once again we don't have. But it's this white side table with two drawers. It's a pretty simple shape. Like honestly, this base game one could probably do the trick. And we can try this one. We're definitely going to be tight on space here. So let's see how this goes. Then on this side, we have two dressers. We have one that's white and green and then one that's brown. The brown one's definitely going to be easier. Oh no. I'm thinking the spacing in this room is not going to be functional. This could be very bad. Maybe I could try this one. It's not quite right though. I think this room needed to be 4 tiles wide, but it wasn't gonna work for the rest of the house. I feel like I should have moved the kitchen back one or something now, but we're just gonna have to roll with it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to find her other dresser, this green and white one. I mean, this one's sort of accurate, though it's inverse. The trim is green and the drawers are white. And this also looks kind of modern, but maybe we can try it. Might be the best we're gonna get. I think this one from Cats and Dogs could possibly work for her vanity. So I kind of wanted it to be a little bit yellow, which I don't seem to have. This one feels like kind of the right essence for that green one I was talking about, so maybe I'll put it here. I don't think that one matches the vibe at all. For this dresser, I think I'm just gonna go with this one. I still don't know if it's the most accurate, but in terms of spacing, that might be all we can do. I'm pretty sure there's another side table over here. I can't really tell what that one is though. It almost looks like just a small dark brown table, so maybe I could try this one from Businesses and Hobbies. I might even shift some stuff over so that the spacing's sort of right. Okay, and then for the vanity, we'd obviously have to put in a mirror, but it's kind of this like yellowy green dresser vanity thing, which we don't quite have. I feel like this one from Cats and Dogs has the right amount of fancy to it. Oh, this memory box from Growing Together is going to be perfect because she has a purple one, or like a purple kind of caddy on her dresser, so I'm gonna put that before I forget about it. Oh, maybe this end table could work as her vanity. Doesn't have as much surface space as I need, or maybe instead I use it over here as her dresser that she like stores all her books in. In this area, it looks like there's some kind of like black shelving unit, which I don't really have, but I wonder if I could use this cart instead from high school years. Oh, or I could actually try this from the Restoration Workshop kit. Although it's not there in all the photos, it's in one of the more recent photos, so I actually won't add that. Okay, her desk is over here. Also, in case you're wondering why I have this penguin plushie, we're going to pretend it's a chicken because this is crucial to her story with Dean. So I'm going to put this on her couch or her chair that's over here, and we're going to pick this one and pretend it's a chicken, not a penguin. Her desk looks like one of these almost. Like it has the 2-sided drawer areas, or maybe even this one from Discover University. I don't think this base game one's gonna have the color I need. Well, actually that's not bad. If we really want to get picky with it though, it has black handles and brown wood, kind of like this, but a little bit lighter. Okay, I guess we'll just go with this base game one. And then what's cute is that it looks like they took the 4th dining chair from here and used it as her desk chair. So I'm gonna follow suit with that. But it also looks more yellow here. So now I'm actually kind of wondering if I should take the one from Cats and Dogs and make that yellow. Yeah, I actually think that fits a lot better. Okay, we'll go with that. And then we need her armchair, which is kind of like this red plush patterned one. Like maybe this could work. Honestly, that's pretty perfect. It's not the right pattern, but it's a pattern and it is the right color. And then I want to put this new pillow on it. There is pillows on it, but I'm not sure they necessarily look like this. Maybe I'll switch it to this one. And then usually it's over here in this corner. So we'll squish it here, add the pillow, and of course the chicken. Okay, perfect. For lacy curtains in here, I might actually try these ones from high school years. I think maybe they could do the trick. Actually, I'm gonna switch them over to this more white swatch, and I'll put them over here as well. Okay, the last big item we need is a closet. Maybe we could use this one from City Living. It's maybe a bit more modern, but I can't also really see the closet in this photo, but I know it's kind of an open closet. Oh, actually, I think this one from Horse Ranch will be better. I'm gonna have to merge it into the wall a little bit. There's a lot of furniture in here and not a lot of space. I think I might have to switch up the color. I'll have to go and look later on. But for now, let's go ahead and start with this vanity area here. So we need a big mirror to actually make it look like a vanity. This one from Businesses and Hobbies could work because it is this arched one. Oh, actually though, I might take this one from the Basement Treasures kit because it looks a bit more ornate, but the only white version is the one with the crack, which is not what I need. Okay, so I've decided how we're going to do this vanity. We're going to need these two mirrors. Well, they're the same mirror, but we're going to need two of them for businesses and hobbies. And then we're going to need this one from Parenthood. So we're going to take this one from Parenthood and size it up by 1. And then I'm going to lower it. And then that way it looks like it's the frame of this. And then to fit the shape of it, we're going to take these mirrors from businesses and hobbies, and we're going to take 2 of them, and then we're going to make them small in terms of scale so that it hides the frame, and then we're going to lower them. And then now it looks like that's the frame for this dresser. I mean, the white swatches are a little bit off. Ooh, but if I switch it to this yellow, that's a bit better. And I like the addition of the flowers. So that's how we're gonna make the vanity. So complicated for probably no reason, but I've done it anyways. And then now we just have to clutter. I'm seeing yet another floral lamp that we don't really have, but I feel like the floral base is a good enough substitute. And I'm also seeing a second lamp on this side that looks a little bit like this, but in pink. Oh, so this one from Discover University should be perfect actually. Ooh, or this one from City Living. I think this one actually feels more accurate, so we'll do that. I am going to size it down though. Then we have this keepsake box. Then we need a whole bunch of like cosmetic stuff. Like I want these perfume bottles, necklaces, this makeup, maybe this one instead. And I want that makeup from high school years, this one, because I like the ring dish because I'm seeing that in the photo as well. Oh, I also think in any empty corner, I'm gonna put this book stack from Cats and Dogs because I mean, it's Rory. I don't think I can put too many books in here. Maybe I'll add some other little boxes and stuff. What I really need is cornstarch, but we don't have that in the game. But I need a box of cornstarch. If you know, you know. But since we don't have that, I'm going to make do with just this little flowers bag that we have, and we're going to pretend that it's the box of cornstarch, okay? You could also have some of these. Ooh, and this little caddy feels very Rory. Maybe if I size it down 1, and then we can put the pink lamp beside it. I'm also seeing some kind of like figure, like doll sort of thing, so maybe I'll put in a My Sims doll. Put the cornstarch there, and we can put like the perfume here, the necklaces can go there. That's perfect. I'm just putting anything and everything in here. Oh, I haven't squeezed in this object yet. Can I fit it like that? Surprisingly, I still have a lot of room on here, so I can kind of space things out a little bit better so that there's not any clipping. Oh, actually, this even seems a bit more accurate to the kind of doll that I'm seeing in the picture. It is green, so I'm gonna do this one. I will size it down 1 though, but I'm gonna put it right over here. I'm gonna switch up a couple of the colors, I think. But I would say it's already pretty good. Okay, adorable. We also need a Hawaii holiday poster beside here, but that's not something we have. I don't know if maybe we could get like some kind of travel poster. I think that comes with Snowy Escape. Oh no, it comes with Growing Together, but there's a picture of Snowy Escape. The Snowy Escape world, I mean. None of these look particularly like Hawaii, but I am seeing mountains in the back, so maybe we'll do this one. It's not a framed thing though, it's just supposed to be a poster, so depending on how nitpicky I want to be, I might change it. Maybe I could do a climate change poster instead. It's got the same kind of like mountains. Actually, maybe I'll do this rock poster because the poster I'm seeing has like red on it, and I feel like they're big into music anyway, so I might as well add something like that. Change of plans, I'm gonna use this one. This is from Strangerville. Okay, I think I have to call it for this section. I'm getting very carried away. I'm seeing like hanging coats over here though, so I am just gonna put this coat rack in the corner. I can't really see what this corner's doing, so we'll just leave that. For rugs, again, it kind of like switches. Sometimes there is one, sometimes there isn't. The one I'm looking at right now, I'm not sure if this photo's the best. It gave me the best overview, but it's definitely more recent. Like I think it's from the Year in the Life series, which I mean, I'd prefer not to talk about. So maybe I'll take some creative liberties here. There is sometimes like an ottoman at the end of her bed though, but all of these might be a little bit big. I'll say I size down this horse ranch one. I feel like the yellow would be cute. Okay, we can do that. And then maybe we could put like a couple bits of clutter there. But for this side, we need that shelf situation, which I think I'm gonna do that off camera because that's gonna take a bit. But I can put a bunch of books on here to match the dresser. I can take like these binders, maybe some of these books. I'm just gonna merge a whole bunch together. Though actually this stuff would be better suited for the shelves, and on this surface it looks more like this book stack, so we can do that. Also CDs, and it even looks like there's a little TV over here, but I've actually never seen her use this TV, but we will put it anyways because I see it there. And another lamp, which actually is so cute. It honestly is reminding me a lot of the one from Werewolves. This one here that looks like a little flower, so we're definitely gonna use that. And I'm gonna use one of these keepsake boxes. And now let me just adjust the placement. Okay, that didn't fill it out as much as I wanted. Okay, there we go. I think that works. For this surface here, again, there's quite the mix of clutter. I know it looks like the figurine that is over here, this one has been moved to this spot in this photo. It shifts around quite a lot, I'm seeing. Maybe I'll come back to the decor, but I know for certain there's a bunch of posters here. I need maps, but I don't actually know if we have anything like that. Oh, actually, I think there's something sort of similar in cats and dogs, but I don't know if I'll want the frame for it is the problem. Oh, there's this one here. That's perfect. That's not the cats and dogs one I was thinking of, but I actually think it's even better. The one I was thinking of is this one here, but I think this suits so much better. It looks like a lot of the posters are travel posters. I mean, given that Rory wants to be a journalist and just travel the world and whatnot, so I'm gonna try to put in a couple of those if I can. Ooh, I think this new item's also gonna be perfect for over here because it looks a little bit like those school banners. Maybe I'll give her this one and size it down. I'm gonna have to put the cork board here though, so I can't forget to do that. Oh, and I can put a bunch of postcards. I'm gonna put in that growing together travel poster over here because I think it makes sense. We'll do it for Mount Komorebi. And then let's find the cork board. I might stack 2 of these, or I just take one of the bigger ones, but that's not really gonna fit. There's also a lot more posters and stuff over here. I really want ones that are like travel posters, or I guess anything kind of like education related could work. I'm not gonna be able to find direct matches to things that she has, but I can try my best to sort of mimic some of it. I'm gonna go with this collection from Parenthood. It's got like the music, which I think ties in well, and it just looks like something she would have. And then I'm also just gonna bring forward this a bit. I know these are in frames, so kind of ignore that, but I really want the banners. The wisteria's clipping. Oh wait, there's these banners. Okay, I'm gonna use these from high school years instead. We also put some of this on there. Just pull it forward a little bit. And then I can probably fill the rest up with the postcards. Also feel like this would suit the room. Maybe I'll do more of the music stuff again. Oh, I'm gonna throw bags in this corner. Or actually, I'm gonna make them look like they're coming off of the mirror. Perfect. Maybe you can put like one of these posters, which looks more like a school poster. I'll just put it on this wall. And then we will put a bunch of those postcards. Okay, for these side tables, it's just a bunch of lamps basically. I think I'll use this one over here. It kind of blocks the calendar a little bit. Maybe that's okay. On this side, it kind of just looks like this, like that kind of lamp. I don't love this lamp, but maybe if I tone down the color, it's okay. You know what? I'm gonna use this one instead. I feel like that suits it better, matches the vibe better. I can't really find a lamp that's looking correct for this side, so honestly, I'm just gonna use this one from Cats and Dogs because it seems like the kind of thing that would be in a room. I'll have to find more clutter for that, but again, I can come back and do that on my own time. And then, of course, I will show you it all in the tour. Do not even worry. I am going to get some kind of like speaker thing though, because I want her to have a CD player because her and Lane be listening to the CDs all the time. So I'm gonna put this one in, and then maybe we can put some more CDs behind it or beside it. And surprise, surprise, I'm seeing another lamp on the desk. Oh, I think this one from Parenthood will be good. I'm gonna use it in like this orange swatch. She has like a very clunky computer at some point, so maybe we'll try this laptop here from Strangerville. And then I want this open notebook so it looks like she's actively been studying. And we're gonna put a coffee mug in here too. Gonna put her backpack in, maybe. Ooh, I could put that on the ottoman. That would be perfect. I feel like she has like a black and yellow backpack. I feel like it doesn't match her look at all, but maybe we could do this one in honor of her really cute leather one in the first episode. Let me put these school binders over here as well. Oh, I found even more banners. I'll put these just in other places all around. I guess I should be making them red for now since I am basing this on the earlier seasons. I guess we could put a couple of ribbons too because she is a very high achiever, just to fill up some of the wall space because I'm not really seeing what else is on that wall. Oh, a pencil holder, definitely. And just some more books. Okay, cute. I really like it in here. I think it's so charming. Let me just find a rug and then I'll do the decorating off camera for all of these surfaces that I didn't do. Okay, what if I use this cottage living rug though? Kind of feel like it could work. Maybe I'll size it down one though. It definitely looks similar to what I'm seeing in the newer photo, like maybe more in this white swatch, or alternatively this growing together one would actually be really good. Yeah, I think this one's even better. I'm gonna rotate it slightly just so the room looks more lived in. Oh my gosh, it's so cute in here. Okay, I'll have to do the shelf and stuff, but until then, let's go ahead and move upstairs and work on Lorelai's room. We actually have a brand new wallpaper for Lorelai's room, so we're using this one from Base Game with the little flowers because it looks decently accurate to the one she has, but hers doesn't have the stripes. Okay, I have these doors over here as placeholders. We may keep them or we may use something else, but these were supposed to be for her closet doors. Now I could do one of those closets that came with Get Together, but I think it'd be a lot more fun if I made my own custom one using like the hanging clothing items. I'm just doing that same trick that I did downstairs to make like that open door look. Okay, it's gonna need work, but you can get a sense of what I'm trying to do here, I think. But it would maybe be like that, and then behind the door is a dresser. It's a pretty small one. Like I'd even use that one that we used downstairs, like that kind of little hutch from Laundry Day, but I've already used that. Oh, I might take this Base Game one and size it down. I feel like that's a pretty good substitute, but it would be something like this. And then in this corner, we have a pink, it almost looks velvet to me, like a pink velour chair kind of. Maybe this color, but less orange. This one maybe, but now I would have used this chair about 3 times in the build, but the color's pretty accurate. Surely there's something else, right? Maybe I could use this one, but it's not the right shape. Ooh, this one. Okay. This works. This is from Cats and Dogs, and I think that will be the perfect chair for us. But there's a chair here, and then there's a lamp. Again, I think vampires could work really well for this, even though the lampshade is turned upwards, but I don't even think we have a lamp like that in The Sims. But this one at least has like the funky curve in the one I'm seeing. I can't exactly tell what color it is, but I do think this red one fits well, so we will go with that. And then on this spot here is her desk or like vanity area. If I can't find a desk I like, I might do that console table trick again. Like maybe this one could work, though it does look a little fancier than what I'm seeing actually. Actually, you know what? I think it's pretty close. It'll do. We'll use this one. And it goes under the window. And then there's a little chair. Looks white and brown, like there's a white cushion and brown framework. Not exactly this, but maybe we could do that one. You know what? Maybe this one from Discover University. It's slightly different, but I feel like the essence is relatively the same. So maybe I'll do that, and I'll just put the chair on the diagonal. And then if we wrap around, we'll go here to the bed. She's got a metal framed bed, so immediately I think of the one from Cottage Living, and it is 2 tiles wide. But then at some point she also gets a bed more like this, sort of with like the pink linen. It almost looks like a bigger version of Rory's bed, or like this. Honestly, that could be pretty accurate as well, but I kind of want to go with her earlier season bedroom, like with this. And it's got like cute quilts and stuff. I think it's overall more of a white bed. I very much associate Lorelai with blue, so I could try this, but the framework is lighter, so maybe I have to do the pink. Oh, or I could do this one. Though I think the pink matches the room better. Oh, you know what? Even this new one could maybe work. It does have that metal frame and like this plaid bed, though the green cover is kind of throwing me off a little bit. Oh, I feel like this kind of quilt suits her. Like it's sort of similar to what I'm seeing in this photo. Oh, or even one of these. I want like this bedding, but with the cottage living headboard. I can't have both. I think I'm gonna keep the bed frame because I feel like that's more memorable to me. And then we'll put the bed over here, and we need 2 side tables. Her side tables are quite covered. I can't see them the best. I can sort of see the one on this side. I feel like this cats and dogs one would kind of do the trick. Again, not exact, but it's hard to get everything exact in this build. And then I can't quite see what's on this side, but I feel like a horse ranch one would suit. Maybe we can do this one. I'll do it with a blue stand. I'm actually going to switch it to this one from cottage living because the open part is closer to the bottom, and then it looks like this exact box on the bottom here. So I'll have to fill out all the spaces there and then raise it up and maybe scale it up, and we can put it on the bottom there. That looks exactly like it. That's perfect. Then over here it looks like there's one other kind of table or dresser, but again, you don't really see this side of the bedroom that much, so I can't exactly tell what's happening, but I'm gonna take a guess. Maybe this parenthood one. Though it does look more like a console table, sort of, in terms of proportions. Ooh, like this from backyard stuff. It has the tablecloth, so that could work. I don't know which color swatch to do, though. Honestly, this one's kind of close. I'm seeing a little end table inside her closet, so I think I want to put one of those too. Like, almost like this. But I guess that's a bit long. We'll just try this base game one in here. I'm not sold on these mismatching side tables, so I'm gonna try to find a better combo. Oh, I like this. This one from For Rent and this one from Cottage Living. They're like slightly different, but also kind of similar, so I feel like it works. Which means now we have to start decorating, so I guess let's do the vanity closet area over here first. So for the closet, we're gonna need the Dream Home Decorator shelves. They look to be in white, maybe about here. And then we can take clothes and just slot them in. Like that one's pretty good. I mean, you won't really see the ones on this side. Maybe I'll do the one with the hat. And I guess I'll just continue it on this side as well, so that if you look at it from all angles, it looks filled like that. I almost want to put some half tile ones so that there's even more clothes. I will think on that. I want to use the shoebox from the Everyday Clutter kit, this one here, because it looks like she has some shoes on top of this table, like that. Though I'd imagine they're probably heels instead, but super cute nonetheless. And then, oh, it looks like there's some kind of mail on this table, and definitely a lot of makeup on this one, and jewelry. I also think she has more of like a tabletop mirror, which we do have as like a light object, but it looks too modern, so I'm just gonna do, I think, probably a normal mirror, and then maybe I'll angle it so it looks like it's resting on the table. Okay, so I'm just using tool mod to pull it away from the wall. I'm gonna lower it just a touch more, I think, and then we can rotate it so it looks like it rests against the wall, maybe like 10 degrees. Except that's the wrong direction. We're gonna try -5 because I think 10 was a bit much. Okay, at least this way it's angled, and then now we'll pull it away from the wall. And then that can look like her little getting ready station. And this one is from Life and Death, in case I didn't say that. Cute. I want more makeup clutter over here though, for sure. Maybe I could take that one from Parenthood that I didn't use in Rory's room. Oh, also like this item from Lovestruck. Yeah, this one here. I think I'm gonna all place some things. I am seeing another lamp on this table as well. Looks kind of like a blue lampshade with a metal base. Also gonna put in a candle because I feel like that would suit this space. I think I'll try this one from Discover University for her lamp. And I feel like I need one other thing here. I think I'll put some flowers. I feel like there's an extreme lack of plants in certain areas of this house because I haven't been seeing it in the photos. But I would like to add some more. I think this area is so cute. Oh my gosh. I'm loving all the clutter in this house. It's making me very happy. Oh, I think there's a picture frame on this side, again of her and Rory, but maybe I'll use this one here, or maybe I use one of the new ones, the electronic ones, even though this wouldn't have been a thing when the show came out. But oh nice, and you can size them down, and then there could be a picture of her and Rory in there. I also think the bed's gonna need a lot more pillows, so I'm gonna put a couple of the new ones because I can't resist. I'm gonna try this one. Oh, well, with the pink flowers. but also I was just gonna do the white version, like this one. This matches this bed so perfectly. I think maybe a bit too perfectly for this kind of aesthetic that Lorelai has, but very cute nonetheless. I'm debating switching up her bedding because I feel like there needs to be more variety, but I'll just put the pillows there, and I'm gonna add like another storage box in the closet. I also think a shoe rack in here, and maybe a shoe rack over on these sides of her room as well, since there's a good chunk of empty space. For curtains, it is those lacy ones, but maybe I'll try these macrame ones from high school years. It's got a similar sort of feel, maybe, sort of. Or do I do the same version that I used in Rory's room? Or do I use the Desert Luxe ones? Well, now I just don't know. I'm gonna go with the Desert Luxe ones, except maybe not on this one because it's gonna intersect with my mirror. Okay, underneath here, I see kind of like this oval floral rug that's blue, but immediately I think of the one from Cottage Living that we looked at, but maybe we could try the Life and Death one? I'm just gonna peek at a couple of these because I'm a little less familiar with these swatches. That one could work, but since we've used that one already, let me try the Cottage Living one. This one and this swatch definitely needs to be sides down though. I mean, it's not oval, but I do think it works either way. I'm seeing more like coats on the door and stuff, so I'm gonna add a couple of those. I'm also gonna put in some of these closet items just from base game, and we can see how those look. And that way it kind of fills in the space a little bit better. But I want to put that base game coat rack on the back of the door, and I might also take one of the robes if I can find it. Oh, right here. And then we can also put that on the hanger. I'll give her a purple one. Okay, very cute. And then we can just remove that door. Also, it's a medium wall height on this floor, which is why this looks so large, but it's okay. Above the dresser, it looks like there's essentially this photo of like some flowers above it with the same kind of frame. So I'm going to do that. And above that, there's a sconce. Looks almost like this one, I'd say. So I'm going to put that in, and I will clutter that up, but I might do that off camera. And then over here, I see a trio of 3 photos. I can't quite make out what they are. Maybe the flower press ones from Enchanted by Nature could work as well, but they're at least all the same size. Oh, I wonder if we could use these. These are from, what are these from? Backyard stuff. I feel like I use this item a lot actually, but I do think this could work in here. And then there's like one other small photo right here. Maybe we can use this one, but size it down. Like about here. Technically, I think the door would be more like this, which I guess I could do actually, but it's more like all of these items are shifted over. I'll just put the door there. Oh, and some of these photos, it's actually 2 photos stacked on top of each other, but they look like about the same subject, like almost this, but it's not pictures of fruit, but I feel like this is what the photo frame is reminding me of. And then there's also a decent chunk of photos over here. Maybe I'll put the pear one here, even though, again, it's another stacked set, but that's about all I'm going to be able to fit in there space-wise. And then on this side, we could do these ones. Oh, there's also a pillow on this chair, but perhaps I'll use this one instead, since I've been using the new one so much already. But it's just so good, I can't help it. I'll do it in the brown. Almost looks like a deep red purple. So maybe I'll do the purple. I'm still not sold on this bed either, so if it looks different by the tour, you know why. All that's left to do is to clutter this up. There's one table I see where it's like when she's going through her breakup, and so there's a lot of like dishes and stuff there. But then there's another one I'm seeing that's more like her room all the time, so I think I'm going to use that one as my reference. But I do need a lamp. Once again, it's like a flowery lampshade, and I'm really just not seeing that in this game. So I'm not sure what to use instead. Like maybe this one. I guess I use this downstairs, so I could maybe get away with it up here as well. But it is in more of like that pinky swatch. So maybe I'll do this. And then we have the picture frame, and then I also need a speaker. It's a very small speaker. I almost want to use this antique radio, but that's not really the look of it. Maybe I'll try this music box. At least I think it's a speaker. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but it's some kind of box. There's also a phone on her bedside table. These ones are definitely more retro than the ones I'm looking at, but I think they will work either way. I'll do the phone there and the picture frame there. And then maybe we could put a coffee mug beside the bed. I'm gonna switch the phone to white, I guess, and just do that coffee mug. Okay, I think that's gonna be as much as I'm gonna show for this room on camera because there's gonna be a lot I have to sort out off camera. But I guess next, let's do one of the only bathrooms that we ever see, and we see it maybe once in the show. I was basically only able to find one reference photo for this bathroom, so everything's gonna be based on that. And it's from that scene where Lorelai brings home a fish after she goes fishing because she couldn't bear to kill it, or she wanted to keep it or something, and they're watching it swim in the tubs. So I'm gonna take a tub kind of like this. It's definitely got more of that like spout. Ooh, I think this one from Cottage Living is actually even better. Oh, I feel like that would suit their house so well, but I think it's just like a white basin. Okay, we'll try this. And then it looks like beside the tub there's a little side table with like a rubber ducky. Wait, it's so cute. I need it to be pretty narrow though, so I actually think I'm gonna use this one from Snowy Escape again, but maybe I'll rotate it so it doesn't look like the same one as downstairs. And then we can put the little rubber ducky. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Basically, the shot I'm trying to mimic is from like this viewpoint. And then, so behind there is the sink. You don't see the toilet in here, so I'll just have to guess. But the sink basically just looks like this base game one. And then there's a shelf of like linens and stuff on this side. And so maybe I could use this one from Eco Lifestyle to get away with that. It's kind of big though, so I'm gonna have to size it down. And also the one we see in the photo is actually like metal and wired, but I know we don't have anything like that in this game, so I'm just gonna pick something else that matches. I mean, this at least has all the towels and stuff, so I think that's still fitting. And then the mirror is pink. It actually looks a little bit like the one I used to make Rory's vanity downstairs. It's circular and it's pink, so I feel like we have to go with this. And then we need a towel rack with pink towels. I'm thinking this one would work well from the bathroom clutter kit. It's a little bit big though, and even sized down, I think it's still too large. So it's like a very specific shade of pink though. So I think we'll try these ones. I kind of want it to look like there's two on one rack, and then above that there's like one smaller one that I would like to try and incorporate if I can. Maybe I'll just use the tool mod and bring it to the front a little bit and elevate it, of course. Okay, I think this might be the best I can get. It's still not perfect, so I'll probably tweak it before I give you the tour, but this is generally what I'm trying to achieve. And then there's like the toothbrush holder. Their toothbrushes are on the wall, but I won't be able to do that. I'm gonna put more towels in these empty spaces, and maybe this item as well. I also haven't put a trash can anywhere, but there's this cute floral one under their sink. I don't know if we have a floral trash can, but we have this little ladybug one that I feel like is kind of similar, honestly. Or we could try this macrame one, but I like the ladybug one. That seems like something they'd have. And then I'll have to finish cluttering this up. Oh, but the other thing I'm seeing is the tub has a pink curtain. So I'm actually gonna delete this tub, and we will use this one instead from base game, even though in the photo the curtain's drawn back, but there is a curtain, so we'll do that. And then we'll just put the toilet over here since we can't see it. I'll just assume it's in this spot, and that's about all I can see for the bathroom. So on here I'll just put a couple of different little knickknacks, some like lotions and bath salts and all of that. Also put these towels, and then I'll place some things. I mean, the most key part of this was the ducky, so I feel like mission achieved. And it looks like there's some kind of glass bottle with red liquid, so I feel like this item here is gonna do just the trick for that. And then the rest I'm kind of just guessing for. I think all in all that's so cute. I'm gonna put a rug in here though, even though I can't see it, but I feel like they would have a rug in here. Honestly, I could see a fluffy pink rug, or we'll do the yellow, because I feel like there's a lot of pink in here, but the walls are actually meant to be yellow, but there's like a trim of this pink towel, which is why I picked this wallpaper. So maybe we can put a sconce above the mirror too. It's now time to start the tour. This is the outside of it. I'm so happy with how this build came out. I was a little worried the lot might be a bit too small or it might look kind of weird in The Sims, but I feel like it actually translated pretty well, all things considered. The floor plan's definitely a little weird on the inside because it doesn't actually make sense in the show, but I may do, and you'll see that in a second. But of course we have the huppah over here with the goats that I added, which are actually llamas, don't tell anyone. And then we have the garage, we've got the craft area, the boat, the band. I really just tried to compile everything from all the seasons that happens in this garage. I am now realizing though that I forgot to put a door at the back of the garage, which the one in the show does have, so I might have to switch that out. But then we have like the little deck area. I also forgot to show you again the tulips that I added, but they're not in bloom anyway, so they just look like bushes. But when it is season time for them, that could have been said better, then you'll know that there is tulips there. And there's the little fish pond that I added, the back area. It looks ugly from the back, I'll admit it, I'll say it, but I mean, given the floor plan, it kind of had to look like that. And I'm more concerned about what it looks like on the front and on the inside, because you never see the back of the house, because the back of the house is the front of Suki's house. Mind-boggling. But we're gonna make our way inside now. I really like how I cracked the door open. I thought that was a nice touch. I never do it on this angle, like it's always opened the other way, so it was nice to try it out this way. But we have the entranceway. I love that little mirror object from For Rent. It worked so perfectly. I can't get over how accurate it was. And then we make our way into the living room. We've got our monkey lamp. Once again, so happy with that. I just think it came out so cozy in here. Oh, there's a close-up of the little monkey lamp. It's so cozy and cluttered, and it definitely feels lived in. And I feel like even if you're not a Gilmore Girls fanatic or like don't know about the show, it would still be a really cute and fun house to play in. And I love how the mantle came out with like all those picture frames. The tool mod was just my saving grace in this build. Without the tool mod, I'm not sure I would have been able to get as specific as I did, but thank goodness I had that. And then we also have the console table over here. I love how that came out. Then I even ended up adding a custom water cooler, which is so perfect. I found it on the gallery. I'll put the name on the screen. And then for down here, this door actually leads to Suki's house. So sometimes they have it as a bathroom and sometimes they have it as a closet. But I decided to turn it into the bathroom that we see in later seasons when Lorelai renovates. So I just put that down there. So in case you do want to play in the house, you have 2 bathrooms instead of 1. And then we've got like the custom sewing machine, the custom shelving. Oh, I also did add a little Roomba because there's a scene where Lorelai's sitting in the kitchen watching the vacuum go and she's like calling Rory, and I had this one from Cats and Dogs, so I had to add it. I think I'll do a little zoom in a little bit. But I love all the clutter in this kitchen. There is like not an ounce of counter space. But I did leave 1 free, so if you did actually want to use this house, you can, and it should be functional, the kitchen at least. But I just think all the little knickknacks and clutter is so perfect. And I really like the wallpaper because I feel like it gave the essence of the cabinets even though I couldn't actually have those in game. And then we make our way into Rory's room. I really love her room. I'm going to say that about all the rooms, I'll be honest. But this one I just feel like is so accurate. And I love that I put the little penguin plushie, which isn't a penguin, guys, it's a chicken. And I really like the vanity situation. Again, thank you, Tool Mod. And I just think it's so warm and lived in. The only thing I'm uncertain about in here is that little green and white cabinet situation, which would be easy enough to switch out because none of the clutter is snapped to it. So if you don't like it either, you can get rid of it. I might even change it before I put it on the gallery, honestly. But then we'll come out and make our way upstairs. I did mess it up a little bit and I made these stairs and then started decorating Lorelai's room, and then I came to play test and realized it didn't work. So I did have to shift things around. So now her room feels a bit more spacious than I wanted because I had to move the door. But I really like it nonetheless. I did switch out swatches and colorings. I also put that little like cardboard box there because it's a big thing about them having boxes of like stuff from their exes and they hide them in the closet. So I decided to put that in there. Her vanity area is so precious. I wish I had it. And also for the bed, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this, but I took the chair or the sofa from high school years and I merged it into this bed from cottage living to add like more pillows and a blanket. I think it looks really cute, but I'm not sure it's so accurate, but I wanted to keep it to show you guys. I also switched out that cloth table for the one from Seasons because it had more flowers, so I thought it was a bit more accurate. And the hallway I just freestyled, but this is the bathroom. It's a little bit sparse because it's on medium wall height. Honestly, I should probably go in and add a couple more pictures, even though that's not in the photo. But yeah, the hallway is completely freestyled. We don't know what this looks like. And I decided to put like a little laundry room over here because Rory's always doing her laundry at the house when she goes away. So I put that in there, even though we'd never actually see it. And then for this room, I decided to make it look like Lorelai's room in the later seasons when someone who shall not be named, because I don't want to spoil it, moves their furniture in and she doesn't like it. And so I tried to mimic that, and I put boxes around because that's why it's sparse, like it's mid-move kind of thing. So I thought that was a fun little detail, but I didn't show you it because it would have been boring to decorate and boring commentary, and that's the full end. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me build the Gilmore Girls house today, those of you who have seen the show and those of you who haven't. For those of you who have seen it, I hope you can appreciate all the little details that I added. But of course, if you guys have any comments or suggestions, things you want to see me build, make sure you leave it down below. Also give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see some future content, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.